State your facts. You can't just. It's like it's like this, right? Before I got into this PC world and I got into this internet world, right? You know this. You argue with niggas in the barbershop. You argue with niggas. Like my basketball knowledge my football knowledge was above other niggas. The niggas who like we argue Michael Jordan, LeBron is 6 championships. It's like, bro, when you finally got in this world, when niggas were actually you got to know your stats, nigga. Yeah. You got to know your true shooting percentages. You got to know your actual stats. And when I started arguing with y'all about football and shit like that, I had to almost like elevate myself even more to understand that like you can't just come with a take, nigga, and not have no proof behind it. Yeah, and that's what Mark Lamont Hill is. He's the nigga like, I'm a professional debater, my nigga. This is what I do. When we debate with actual facts. We can actually battle it out.
Right.
Ish is a nigga from the barbershop. Like I used to the barbershop niggas that I want. Like we know this. Swiper, Trent, Kenya, you, me. The average 90, 95, 96 percentile sports fan in America can't do nothing with us in a debate. And you will argue with one of them for about 2 minutes before we realize, oh, you one of them niggas. So you a barbershop nigga. You a barbershop nigga. Okay. Right. You stop arguing. I be in spaces and niggas be saying shit that I be like, okay, oh yeah, y'all got it. Y'all ain't here barbershop talking. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, real talk. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like when Mark and Ish were going back and forth and Swiper, I know you gotta start the show. Just get this off real quick. When they were referencing like what's your argument, and he pulled out like the quote from the Google AI overview. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, bro, like,
wow.
That's kind of where the disconnect begins, because if you're not willing to actually like look for an article and a cited source, you want an overview from Gemini.
That's what Acho did to Low the other day.
Yeah,
he one of them they niggas. They be saying, and then Mark be like, "Who's they? Who's they? You know what I mean? They, them. What? What are you talking about? That'd be a real thing, though. Like, again, back to us in this sports world, bro, it is hard to argue.
I gotta see what y'all talking about, because I don't know what happened.
No, so first off, welcome everybody to the show. Shout out to y'all. Welcome to the best football show that there is. J-Rob made his once in every 2 months appearance today. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Big Time, Mr. Money, Mr. Man, Mr. Baseball, Mr. Social Media.
J-Rob on the run, man. We miss you out here, man.
Money, Mr. Wire My Money, Mr. Paper My Check, Mr. Make Sure 20s and 50s, no 10s, no 1s, Mr. Make Sure $1 million. I want to add an extra zero to the end of that check. Mr. Man. Connected, Mr. Fanatic, Mr. Corner, Mr. Lockdown. Shout out to my dude J-Rob. J-Rob, the best corner
on this platform.
Best corner on PC. Is he the best corner on PC? He might be. Question. But are you the best defensive player on PC? That's the real question. That's the real question, J-Rob.
I'm gonna say this. I'd rather be the best cover guy, because I'm gonna tell you this, Swipe. I'd rather be in a boundary corner. Keep me with the one-on-one. Just give me the X all day. I'll handle that, because I ain't gonna lie. If they run power to my side, bro, I'm creative missing, and I'm running into the tackle's legs trying to just create a power.
Oh, thank God. D-Mac, when you first got on camera, boy, I thought you were an iPhone 4. I was like, God damn, it's pixel over there, man.
You know, my bad. It took a second to load in. My fault.
I think you might be the best defensive player, because you're gonna stick your toes in there.
But you say you don't like, so you saying you don't want to get in, you don't want the contact every play.
I'm gonna make tackles. I was a 6'2", 6'3" corner. I'm gonna make a tackle, but I only want to make a handful in a game. Like I don't want to have more than 4 for the game, bro.
Well, it don't do nothing for you to have 90 tackles as a corner. It don't do that for you.
If your corner is not named Charles Woodson and you got 10, 15 tackles in the game, that means
Antonio or Antoine Winfield.
A lot of
Antoine Winfield.
I have 10 tackles at corner.
That's a bad news.
I'm cursing you out. I'm cursing you out, bro.
Like somebody ain't doing their job.
If I see a nigga stats in a year, he got 90 tackles as a corner, I'm like, he was getting cooked all season, dog.
No, but there are some corners.
I want to tackle a quarter.
There are corners that get a lot of tackles, but it depends on your system. Like if you exist in the spill system, which I've been in before, then you spill a lot outside. It's supposed to be your back end safeties. They're the ones that are supposed to have 80, 100 tackles or whatever. Yeah. But I like the box, because I want you to send it to me. I want to be there, and so safeties box, corners box. Everybody else you spill out, but send it to me. I want to deal with whatever's happening in front of us. So I like that person.
There's only one nigga in my life, though, my lifetime, who, like, again, Antoine Winfield, the only guy I know at corner who was a good corner, but he was always in the tackles. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, but for most part, niggas, corners don't be one, even the big corners don't be one to tackle. Charles Woodson could tackle, but he wasn't trying to lead the league in tackles.
Listen, bro, these running backs be strong. They big as hell. They running with a full head of steam. My first read is not even them, so I'm into the run action late because I'm a pass first defender. Listen, I want to tackle a quarter, bro. I'm gonna stick my nose in there. Like when they run power to my side, I'm gonna go crash down there. But I'm only doing that so they know that I'm willing to make a tackle, and then they leave me alone.
You know what I was seeing? I was rewatching some games, Trent, because I was like trying to what I mean, setting up a little corner thing for later on in the year, and I was watching Gonzo. But Gonzo long, bro. But Gonzo is not a physical dude at all, bro.
No.
Like, he's like he can get to it a little bit, but I seen him whiff. You know what I mean? Whiff a few tackles.
Caught out a creative miss.
Yeah, it's a business decision.
A creative miss.
But I don't like that though. Like I get it. With some corners are like that because not every corner will put your head in there. But Peanut was like my time to do right. Like I'll do whatever. Like you just.
But Peanut wasn't tackling. Peanut was punching. And niggas don't be trying to say that. He was punching. He wasn't tackling.
Yeah, he wasn't even. Yeah, the fact
he was punching shit.
People was like, this is the thing. Like, yo, he wasn't. I was just about to say he wasn't really popping nobody. He just had a technique. Because then when you look at
Peanut was a hold him up for me. Yeah, y'all been on the field. Hold him up.
His tackles, like he ain't really trying to deliver. He trying to hold you up a little bit so he can.
Well, then
hold that nigga up. Let me punch this. Let me punch.
So like a modern era, Champ Bailey, I feel like it's the easy answer. But who's the best tackling corner that we've had then? Like
Antonio Whitfield. It's not even close.
Oh, Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey was my pick.
Jalen Ramsey.
We talking about from what year though? Because again, Antoine Whitfield.
Modern Ramsey.
Oh, it is Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is the best tackler.
I say Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
I like
Jalen Ramsey. Of our,
stick his face in there.
Trey McDuffie is a really good tackler.
I was gonna say Connor. I know you don't like Connor, D-Mac, but remember Connor.
Yeah, but he's not a corner though.
Right, but he's deep.
He'll
put his face in there, bro.
Yeah,
but
Jalen Ramsey
game last year, D-Mac. I think he had that hit on the tight end and forced fumble or whatever. I was like,
he did. Look, it's a brand of football. It's a brand of football that's facts. If you're a corner that doesn't tackle, you're not playing here. That's just how it goes.
And plus, as a corner, you can make 90 great tackles. It just take one fucking stiff arm from Derrick Henry. What's my man name that played for us? That played for the Panthers. That won the year. It take one Josh Norman fucking Derrick Henry stiff arm, and that's all they will play for the next 10 years, dog. Like, and I don't want to be that nigga, bro. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
But you are too high, though. You shouldn't be that high. Why are you so high? Get your pads down.
Because I'm trying. You know what's so great? I'm trying to not fuck up a nigga career. I'm trying to do the right thing and tackle properly.
No, but you ain't got to go low to where they can jump you. But I'm saying don't go that low though. Go to his waist. Like Josh came up here trying to tackle high, and then so all of a sudden you got your whole chest out. All he got to do is.
Well, respectfully, one false move and that 240-pound nigga will turn a fucking 90-yard run into a touchdown. So
I'm trying to make the running back do a front flip, Swiper. I ain't going high. I'm trying to make that boy do a front flip. You better hurdle me because I'm trying to make a front flip. For real, straight to them ankles, man. I'm going down.
Brandon
I'll
Brown,
be honest, you can't be an elite slot corner nowadays without being able to tackle. Yeah, you have to be able to.
But respectfully, as a slot corner, you're put in a place on the field where a lot of times I'm not saying it's easy to tackle, but you just have a little bit more room to tackle. When you are outside corner, it's a lot of times sideline tackles. It's like that much of a mistake you can make when you like that because you by yourself. A slot corner, my nigga, you got safeties behind you, so you got more freedom. You literally there are times when you are one-on-one on the outside as a corner. If you make one false move, bro, that's a touchdown, bro. You cooked. A slot corner, you got linebackers around you, you got safeties behind you. Like, nigga, you better make a tackle.
But it depends. It all depends on your system, though. Like, sometimes you don't have safety behind you, and that's why, you see all these long runs up the middle. That means you didn't do your job. Because I'm always paying attention to the box. And if you in the box and you overrun your gap or your feet bad or you cross your feet up, it's cooked. It's over. That's one of the reasons I can play by Alex Singleton.
Or you miss a hole. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
One of the playing in the box in the run game, I think people who are the casual football viewer don't realize how gap discipline is so important in the NFL because gap discipline is I always say there's two things you could look at. So a good defense usually has gap discipline. But then on the flip side of it, let's just say an offense is absolutely running you through, they're rushing the ball at will. Sometimes it's not even about the gap discipline. It's because the offensive line is just straight up out manning you, more physical. So it's I feel swipe on that. You gotta look at that box.
Because if an offensive lineman, if for the initial contact for the D line, if he can dominate that and get upfield, bro, you cook, bro. Because that D lineman, whether it be a D tackle or outside linebacker, you have to hold up your space so I can get there. If you get washed, I'm cooked. And now if I'm cooked, I'm in second line of defense. You out of there. That's 50, 60 yard runs.
If them guards at the second level, I know it's
you cooked.
I know.
I was watching. Go ahead, D-Mac.
I was going to say the other aspect of it is, especially when you talk about kind of modern defenses and we talk about two-eye structures and all of this kind of post-snap rotation, et cetera, that puts so much stress on your safeties that are playing from depth to be able to come down the correct gap. Because you talk about it, Swipe, where you're seeing certain teams that play in this world, the difference between them giving up explosive or being the Houston Texans is those safeties knowing exactly where they need to come down and play the run fit from. And then if you don't have guys that understand that aspect of it, you're going to give up explosive runs because run games have evolved too well to take advantage of that stuff.
And a lot of that shit is literally just hat on hat. Like, nigga, like you're running a 4-4, my nigga, hat on hat. Like, you can play Madden and realize that. Like, I can play Madden and realize that, oh, this might be a good run because I can see the mismatches on the D line, on the line, and say, oh yeah, I'm first down me. Like, it's simple shit.
I will say, like, even with the Texans, right? Because the Texans, watching like their actual defensive film, they do a great job of squeezing. And what they do is, bro, they will literally they will constrict your offense, make you run a lane, but they're also overtly physical. Like that's their whole gimmick. Because they're fast, but they're gonna squeeze and they're physical.
Yeah.
But bro, the reason why Genty was tearing them a new one, because bro, if you got one of them athletes that can just find its way through them gaps, it just don't matter, bro. Because if I'm faster than you, I'm more athletic than you. That's why Genty was tearing them apart. Yep. That's why when Lamar played the Texans, what was that? 2 years ago? Remember the year Josh Allen year or whatever? He was like, what, 9 for 30 or whatever it was, D-Mac? And then Lamar came and saw them. Bro, I'm watching them try to defend Lamar, bro. Man, all that, whatever. Lamar.
The athleticism and also like a Shady McCoy vision. Like, when you watch Shady McCoy, bro, he was hitting gaps that you wouldn't even supposed to. You're not supposed to hit that gap. How you get to that gap? Like, some niggas' vision is just elite.
It's crazy because I look at I was watching a highlight of what's my guy's name? He used to play running back, Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
He is probably the only running back that I could think of where his offensive lineman probably loved him the most because of the way he walked up to the line of scrimmage before selecting a hole. So the run game, like the run assignments, probably already found a gap because they're either at the second level, your guards, whatever. I thought watching him play is just like, I thought he was an anomaly because most guys like Ashton Genty, what makes him great is that he could find a seam at full speed. But I thought it was even sick that Le'Veon Bell had the instinct to just like, bro, he walked up to the line of scrimmage. Like, he did not run at full speed to a handoff. He let the blocks set up and then boom, probably the most patient running back I've ever seen.
And it's in practice, they used to get on him about that. But then when they realized like how much it worked, they kind of let him do his thing. But like, they was mad about that, like walking up tiptoeing shit. Like, the defense was like, man, tell your man to stop tiptoeing.
This last year too, you know which running back spent the most time behind the line of scrimmage before hitting the hole? It was RJ Harvey. And so there's like levels, right? There's like RJ doing it, and it's bad, negative, not good. Yeah. But then there's Le'Veon doing it. Obviously, Le'Veon is super patient, but it's just the vision is just unreal. So he can do whatever he wants. But I do think this thing about like, this is why y'all this year, even as we're like going through this, like, I think talking through some of the film, I know like obviously, J-Rob is super familiar with it, Bama, Trent, but also, D-Mac and Kenya and everybody else, and D-Mac especially because, we had a whole argument about Chris Jones and assignment stuff the other day. I do think the more you can point people to like logistics, you can actually understand why things happen, because one of my biggest pet peeves, you all, is that when I see linebackers that are supposed to be like gap sound and they get caught looking at the damn football, it makes I to this day, how are you in the NFL and you're looking at the football on the snap count and then you lose track of all your keys, but then now the play is going left and you just completely out of position because you were frozen footed, or you taking false steps where you're doing that little hop and then you jump in, you're half second late. Now all of a sudden you getting cut down. So I was watching the Packers play the other day with Quay Walker and all them. I'm just over here like, bro, like Quay, super athletic. But the reason why Quay, your career ain't gone, I thought, he gonna see what happened with the Raiders the way it was supposed to, bro. Because if you're so athletic that you get over dependent on athleticism and you don't have any technical skills, like you ruin the kind of player you should be, but also you're so undisciplined within the scheme of a defense. And that's why Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson didn't end up working out, because some of it is simple as this. If you can't recognize what's happening in front of you in football, it's over.
Yeah,
like you literally can't play.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do on the football field.
If you can't understand and that's the hard thing about the game. I think people forget, like, the hardest part about the NFL is not the athleticism, because everybody's athletic. Everybody's at that top percentile athleticism. It's the recognition of the game. Like, Swipe, but for example, like for me as a corner, like I got to see a route concept. I've watched it on film 100 times, but in real speed where a team is actually trying to attack you, if you're not able to recognize it and you're causing explosive plays, like sometimes it's not about your God-given talent or your ability to actually physically do the job. It's like you mentally can't do the job.
But that's the people who like it separates you from who's in the film room and who's not in the film room. Like who actually does the work to study. Because like you said, you can be as athletic as you want to, but you have to do the work and study. And people understand that anything in life, whether it's a test to be a doctor or it's a test to pass the fucking driving test, if you do the work and study, you will be much more prepared for the live action situation. And that's what a lot of niggas don't understand. Like the people who do the work, I see it. I know it. I've seen it enough to know exactly what you have to do. Yeah. I know your movements, like whether it's basketball, football, baseball. I know your movements. I know your tendencies. Like I know everything. I know your cadence as a quarterback. Like it helps.
But you know who one of my favorite players is in the league, y'all. And he didn't get great trend until he was like 30. DeMario Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was good, but he didn't get great, all pro grade until he was in his 30s, bro. He's like 36 years old now, y'all, and he's like. This is like the best he's been over the last 5 years of his career. But I think if you listen to him talk and you watch him play, in terms of just like knowing it inside and out, understanding the implications of every offensive scheme, what he's looking at, but also defensively, like those are like the truly like great players.
Late bloomer.
This is something that I think, because I was listening to a conversation I think Dominic Foxworthy was having with Nate Tice, I believe, on a podcast. And they were talking, and Dominic was talking about how when he started out watching film, he was kind of watching from the defensive perspective, understanding what exactly it was. And then when he started watching film with Ed Reed, it was because Ed Reed understood what the offense was trying to do to the defense. And that next level of saying, when you're a guy that may have some limited athleticism, but you understand the play that is coming, you know what exactly you have to do. So the offense may be giving you eye candy over here, but you know this is designed. We're trying to get this guard leading up to the second level, and this is going through the B gap. At the end of the day, that's what this is trying to go. And if you know that from a linebacker position, then you know exactly what you have to do to stop that. And so that's just a linebacker, I think, is 1,000% one of those positions where it's like, unless you have supernatural instincts, a guy that I think might have that is Sonny Styles when I watch him play the position, then you have to have a vast wealth of knowledge to say, hey, we're just.
But which one would you rather have, D-Mac, though? Would you rather have a supernatural instinct, but maybe, or supernatural, like raw, instinctual player, or maybe a player that doesn't have that level of athleticism, but like they're just a clinical genius when it comes to their approach to the football field?
Well, I mean, I would always say
genius every time.
I would always say that the former, because I think that then the other stuff will come over time.
Sure.
Which like if you're saying which one I take, that stuff is going to come over time, and then also that's stuff that you can mitigate as far as the defense coordinator position. But specifically, when I look at the linebacker position, this is where, especially when you're living in a nickel world in which you have true Mikes, true Wills, and you're kind of sometimes having the Sam out there, but you're really living in, hey, we got some type of DB in the slot on a consistent basis. It's like, hey, man, I want that Mike to be the guy that can diagnose these things and understand how to put players into place. And I want that Will to be the guy that can cover ground sideline to sideline, feels very comfortable in space, and has the athleticism to where I could do some creative things with them. And that's really the pairing that I think always works the best when you're talking about linebackers in a modern defense, because you have to have that ability to have the athleticism out there, but you also got to have the guy that's going to point and shoot him. And I always point back to the 2020 Bucs defense when you're talking about what they had in Levante David, and then oh man, he just jumped out of my head. Who was
Devin White?
And they had Devin White, because David said, White, I'm gonna send you where you need to go according to what Bowles wants to do. I know what the offense is about to do. I'm gonna send you in the right gap, and I'm gonna be able to cover off of that. Like that was just a beautiful pairing of both of them in the middle of that defense. And so that's just my ideal linebacker pairing. But to answer your question, I'm always like a guy like Sonny Styles, who I think has supernatural instincts and off the charts athleticism. He's just only going to learn more and more as far as the position is concerned when he gets into the NFL. I think the sky's the limit for that kid.
I feel like we've seen that a lot lately. Like even with Patrick Queen and Roquan Swift, like when you got somebody with McQueen's athleticism and you get to tell him what to do, he is so elite. But when you make him a Mike, he's a fucking idiot. So like he's an idiot, bro. He's an idiot. Like
it's the reality of it. Yeah,
I would much rather have somebody because you could have a what's my man Peyton? What's that play for the Steelers who ran the forward? Yeah. Yeah, you can have somebody who's that athletic, but if you're an idiot, bro, it don't matter. I would much rather have a Mike because you can't name a Mike in history who's an elite Mike. We talking about the Bobbies, the Londons, the Rays, the Mike Singletaries. They are all very high intelligent guys when it comes to being on the football field. The Luke Kuechly's, like there is not a dumb Mike. You can't be a dumb Mike. Like the Mike is what he tells everybody what to do.
Yeah.
And when you take somebody who's been, again, like you did with Queen, you see somebody who's productive with a nigga like Rolando, Roquan, and you go, okay, cool, well, we can take you over here. Devin White, he ain't been the same since he left Devontae David, dog. Like he was telling him where to go. So once you go to another team and you have to be the guy and you get the mic in your ear, idiot, bro. Absolutely.
I will put a little bit on the coaching because honestly, it's like some guys, if you put them in one role, like I'll give you a name, Bruce Irvin.
Yeah,
you know, he was with the Seattle Seahawks. There's not a lot of schemes that he could fit in. But when he was with Seattle, they put him in. This is your job. This is what we're going to have you do. You're going to pass rush. You're going to be huge on third down for us. And that is all your job is going to be. And sometimes it does work for players. Like I think we've seen sometimes in history where like a player who probably doesn't have all the tools that you're looking for, but you're able to put him at one position or in one area of a system, and they excel at that, and then you just keep them there. Like
I'll stay in Seattle. We literally just saw it. Nick Emmanwori as a talented, incredibly athletic guy coming out of South Carolina. People were like, do we love the deep safety ability of him? Can he really consistently play as that far back as far as that is concerned? How many things can you do with him in coverage? Mike McDonald said, I know what you can do well, and I'm going to keep you in this role as far as the nickel. You're going to be able to consistently fill that gap off the edge and set an edge when we need you to. I understand we have a limited menu of your coverage ability, and we feel comfortable in you doing so, and you're going to be able to use that supernatural athleticism to do so. And that was a skeleton key for the rest of their back seven as far as what they could do from that standpoint. So you're 100% right. Yeah, absolutely.
Nick Emmanwori is a freak show. Like, absolutely. I think this – he's an anomaly because D-Mac, yes, they put him in like that star nickel, almost like they have a fourth linebacker out there.
Right. Yeah.
But he's also a DB. Mm-hmm. I will say this though, where I think he is a little bit more versatile is I think he's so impactful in whatever his role. Because I was on Trent's show and I said I would put a question mark on his position. I wouldn't.
You literally just said that. Yeah.
I wouldn't put just DB or linebacker. Like I put a question mark because
football player.
He's a football player. Like he's just a football player. But I think even in what McDonald, the way he schemed him into his defense, he's so good at what he does. I'm not gonna lie, D-Mac. I said this on Trent's show. I think his potential, like I think he could be the best defensive player in football. Like as a whole, I think he's just insane. I think Kyle Hamilton is the number one right now. But I think Nick Emmanwori is a season or two away.
The best defensive player out of like all defensive positions.
All defensive players, yeah. Just playing the league. Like I think you can. Now, obviously, if you told me you have more value in like pass rush, and you told me like, oh, Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the world, I'm not arguing with you about that because I could. You have that argument, but I just feel like for his versatility. And like, you know, obviously I played defense. So it's like, there's just different things that I personally value. His switch ability as just an athlete out there, like he's to me a cheat code because he makes things right when they're wrong. And a lot of teams can't put somebody to beat Nick Emmanwori. Like they can't look at their DBs and be like, I need to do what Nick Emmanwori does. Absolutely. He's an anomaly.
Yeah, he is.
I want to tell a funny.
That's why I think he's a skeleton key because he unlocked what they wanted to do in that scheme to an exceptional level.
I want to tell a funny Bruce Irvin story. We was in DC and it was when the Seattle was playing I think it was Seattle Ravens. They were playing the Commanders at the time. This is when Kirk Cousins was the quarterback, and we're outside Surfside, and we run to Bruce Irvin. I'm with Red Grant, and he going at it with Bruce. He like, man, you ain't gonna be on shit tomorrow. He like, man, I'm about to put hands and feet on Kirk Cousins. He like, you ain't gonna get no sacks, no rushes, none of that shit, right? Not on Trent Williams. So he like, man, how much you want to bet? So they bet like 2,500 or something like that. That same night, we went to a club and saw Trent Williams. So Red, Bruce Irvin said he finna dominate it. He finna do this. And Trent, you know Trent Williams, he one of them, yeah, me? Yeah. He like, yeah. I said, Red, what the fuck is you doing? He's like, I'm solidifying my bet. Nigga, if you know that game, I'm talking about Trent Williams put hand and feet on Bruce Irvin. So he didn't sniff Kirk Cousins in that game. I'm talking about immediately after the game. Like, as soon as the game was over with, the nigga Bruce Irvin texted Ray and was like, "What you want me to send to that?" That shit was funny.
He had to go gas that boy up real quick.
Wow. He had to go gas him
up.
He saw Trent and was like, "Oh, bet." It was like, man, I just ran to Bruce Irvin, dog. So they finna dominate this and that.
I don't know.
And Trent Williams is not one of them, nigga. He get up. You don't want to tick Trent Williams off.
You got to hear him with the couldn't be me though.
There's let me ask y'all this because I had this conversation on Twitter the other day. And people were shout out to my dude, especially Young Heavy and San Francisco 49ers fans. There was a question on Twitter like who's the second best or second most important defensive player, in the league behind Myles Garrett. And obviously, I said PS2 because I think when you have a corner like that, it changes the defense, right? Mm-hmm. But then one of my homies said Fred Warner, and I was like, look, I played inside linebacker for high school through college, tried out in the league for it. I love playing inside linebacker. There ain't never a world where inside linebacker got more value than a corner. And I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Like I love my position.
I agree with that.
You can be as good as you want in the middle, but if you got a Hall of Fame guy at corner and a Hall of Fame guy middle linebacker,
I'm not saying that I disagree, but I do disagree. I wouldn't put it right here today because I think that this is maybe a 2 years prior conversation.
It depends on who you're talking about.
It is today, but Fred Warner has previously was and still is to an extent such a unique coverage chess piece that it drove so much of what that 49ers defense was able to do, even from a DB perspective and a safety perspective, off of that to where everything in the middle felt like it was erased and off the menu for offenses when you're going against what Fred could do from a coverage instinct standpoint. So I'm not saying I would to answer your question, it would still be PS2 to me, or I know, or Micah Parsons and Will Anderson. But what he was able to do was so uniquely gifted. I mean, it's tough because I can see an argument for Fred, I can see an argument for Kyle Hamilton and the versatility that he brings to the table and what the Ravens have him do on a consistent basis. Obviously, I agree with that the Will Anderson and Micah Parsons point. So like it's difficult, but Fred Warner is just, especially when you compare him to the rest of the league. Like even 2 years ago, the gap between Fred Warner and the rest of the inside linebackers at the Mike position of what you were getting at the coverage taking off the menu for other offenses was insane.
I just think a mic can help your defense before, like it can help your defense set up before to make it better for the corner. Like I might put a D lineman in a position that he don't rely because I see something he don't see.
I don't agree with that. I don't think the mic is making things better for me if I'm playing man. You feel me? Like if we in man coverage, how is the mic making things better for me? I mean, if he's rushing a passer or he's adding, I get from that point get the ball out faster. But I personally do value the fact that like if a guy, like I'll look at the best versions like Ray Lewis, Deion Sanders, Hall of Fame, top of their positions. I would value Deion Sanders more because he takes away an entire third of the field, bro. Like
but if Ray and Deion on the same team, though, who's more important? If they're in their prime on the same team, who's more important?
Deion, because in my opinion, Deion, and it's a beneficial relationship.
It's mutually beneficial.
It's a mutually beneficial relationship because I'm not going to sit here and say, well, because he's covering so well, he's making Ray Lewis's job a little bit easier and vice versa. But personally, in the pass game, if I got a guy that I don't have to worry about coverage over the top, I can just leave him on an island. I can add more hats into the box. I can do more schemes. I could blitz more. I could be more exotic with my pressures. Like I think a shutdown corner gives you more to work with. And I know you love PS2, but I'm more of a Stingley guy, if I'm being honest. But that's because I like the fact that Stingley takes the ball away a little bit more than PS2. But if you like the cover guy more, I'm not mad about that either.
Well, respectfully, J-Rob, you might need to name another corner because, Deion wasn't on shit, according to Trent. Is that right, Trent?
Deion wasn't. Okay, I'll go Revis. Fine, I'll go Revis.
I would. Funny thing about it is, I would almost hear the argument for Revis, even, and I agree with you. I think Deion, because of the way that he takes the ball away, like I really do love a corner, and I feel like that is the most unique aspect of a corner. If you can be a high level man corner and then have the ball skills to flip the entire game with the turnover. But I would even hear the argument a little bit more for Reeves, to your point, because that taking that part of the field away, especially when you're talking about versus the best of the best as far as wide receivers are concerned. Yeah. But I think it's a fun discussion because a lot of it is also scheme dependent. Weaponization of, hey, if you don't have the right defensive coordinator that can weaponize what Fred Warner is taking off the field for offenses in the middle of the field, then you're not necessarily getting the most out of him. If you have the right defensive coordinator that's weaponizing Kyle Hamilton from all the versatile aspects that he can bring to the table, if you don't have the right defensive coordinator, and I actually think that this is something for the unfortunate brief time that we saw it last year, Micah Parsons making the shift from the Cowboys to the Packers because of what Jeff Hafley was doing to weaponize him, using him all across the line to attack gaps, I thought was spectacular. So, it always really does come back to what the scheme is to be able to enhance these top guys. But, hey, you put a corner out there and say, go take out that wide receiver.
Well, I think, for instance, like with
Jamar Chase, that changes how we play.
But I think that's what I'm saying too. So Denver ran 55% of their time on defense was in man coverage last year, which is 20% more than league average, right? Yeah. Well, you can do that if you basically have a guy that says, well, if we're running a cover 2, literally he can play in between 1 and 3 better than anybody in the league. Right. So that whole side of the field is done. You play cover 3. I can play 1 to flat. So I can play deep third to flat. No problem. If you run cover 4, it's basically man coverage backside versus a 1v1. It's over.
Yeah.
You run man to man, off pressure. You run man to man. When you're just doing base defense, no pressure. I put them on Pickens, put them on Chase, put them on whoever. It's over. Whatever the thing is, and I think as an inside linebacker, so if they call base cover 4, twist, Ringo, strength right, middle linebacker. If I see whatever motion, we're changing defense, all right, switch to 3, boom, then I'm like, all right, I'm not playing deep middle no more. Now I'm playing curl to flat, and I'm calling out everything for the defensive line. I'm telling them what to look for, alert, screen, 3rd and 7, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm making the safety right. I'm with it. But as good as you can be at inside linebacker, if you have a dude on your defense that literally you can say, go over there, wherever he goes, that's their best player, wherever he goes, that's you, and that he erases that person for the whole game. As good as I am, that's more valuable to the infrastructure of our defense than what I'm doing. And even though I'm doing a great job, I'm still a Hall of Famer myself. I'm still really good.
You're really good.
D-Mac, I feel like I was a really good linebacker. But if I played with a corner that was better than me, my job is way easier.
Now, imagine doing all that on the Broncos just for Riley Moss to give him a pass interference play.
I know, right?
God damn. All that good covering just for Riley Moss. 15-yard penalty, pass interference.
Now, if they had
15-yard penalty, pass interference.
If 2018, whenever Fred was drafted, because the Broncos drafted Royce Freeman right after that, they wanted Fred. If they would have drafted Fred, I'm with you. But Alex Singleton can't talk to Riley. What he gonna say? Both of them are good players, but they're neither one of them are, hey, right.
Riley Moss has fucked the chicken up plenty of days. He has fucked the chicken up, the church's money up a plenty of days, Slim, with his pass interference. I'm talking about 4th and 2 at the goal line. You gave him another down.
He's not my favorite player, D-Mac. And again, I've not defended Riley up here. I don't really need to. I'll rewatch again a lot of the games. He is not my favorite player, and he makes a lot of mistakes. I would rather have Jaquan McMillan over Riley. I've already said this before. Jaquan is a playmaker. But I will say, he got targeted more than anybody in the league last year by a lot. And so it's hard. It's hard when you're like, that's
the only place that you can,
that's it. D-Mac, where else you going to go?
Yeah, well, if you're going to do that respectfully, if you're going to do that, I'm cool with that. If you're going to do that, at least be Antonio Cromartie with the Jets. And they're going to talk to you a lot, my nigga. Come up with some picks. Give me 6 or 7 of them things every season.
We're not
at least.
No. I'm not doing this.
Cromartie was amazing. I know how amazing he was.
2014, when he played for the Arizona Cardinals, Trent, you remember this. It was Pat P on the other side.
Yeah.
It was Antonio.
Antonio used to get.
Hike. Gone. Now again, Antonio was a crazy athlete. So Antonio.
We're talking about. Hold up now. You talking about?
No. Wait.
You're being nasty.
He had no. Hold on. He had
26-year-old Tony Gamardi clears Ronnie Balls everywhere.
He had great recovery speed. Antonio and Dominique were freak athletes. Which is also part of the issue. Because Antonio felt like, if you beat me,
I'm just going to catch up anyway. We're good.
SWAT,
I'm getting here. But the problem is that, again, that comes to...
And to be fair, more often than not, that did work. It just didn't, then it was bad.
But he used to get Peyton Manning hell. Boy, I tell you.
He did not. Peyton Manning had 300 and something yards in that dude, bro. Stop it, bro.
Again, I watched him. Didn't he pick Peyton off like 3 times in one game in a playoff game?
What year was this?
I think it was a regular season game when Peyton was like 5 picks, something like that.
Yeah, but that was Washington.
That's the game. That's the game that Antonio had that one-handed pick. I think that's the game that one-handed pick.
Peters got a few of them.
What I'm saying is that
matter of fact,
when he was able to go again, we talking about prime Tony Gamardi. You being nasty when you talking about Carl. When he was able to go to the Jets, and Reed was a technician, he was shutting shit down. So Gamardi was able to. I get to be like the ball hawk. I get to be the nigga who I'm gonna get a lot of targets, but I'm gonna get picks. I'm saying, and Ronnie Moss is doing that.
I don't like that. No, I don't like those players. I've never liked. I don't like Riley either.
Swiper's more of a technique guy.
I don't like that. I don't want those players because you know what, J-Rod, that's cool. But when you get beat, it's like the worst possible situation. It's like, why are you gambling? Third quarter, it's a 2-point game. Fourth quarter, 3-point game. What you gambling for? What you gambling for? You know who I can't stand? Matter of fact, I can't stand J-Rod. I'm blaming you.
But Gamardi's athleticism, he can get a pick 6. So now the game went from 2 points to 8 points.
Every single one of y'all casuals were giving DeRon Bland an all-pro team. Y'all gave DeRon Bland an all-pro team for 6 pick 6s.
Listen, you know what point 6 pick 6s is?
No, but he wasn't good.
Listen, I personally don't like. I don't like when people say that when they.
Bro, he wasn't good, bro.
Gambling because I like my corners.
No, I love Stingley. Don't do that.
I like my corners. I like my corners not to be playing to not lose. I like my corners playing to make plays. And at the end of the day, say what you want. Yeah, it's 3rd and 7. If I just tackle it, woo. I'm telling you right now, Swiper. I don't care if it's 3rd and 2. If I see that motherfucking out route, excuse my language,
I can jump that bitch.
And I can jump that thing,
but you don't.
I'm going to get it.
I'm not going to get it.
Tackling it.
You're not going to get it.
I'm going for it though.
Especially you have Antonio Gamardi athleticism where I can house shit. I might be in the crib.
If your name is Derek Stingley, I'm 100% fine with that, which is why I've told D-Mac when we had our conversation with Trent McDuffie. I think Stingley's by far the second best corner in the league. I'll take Stingley over Gonzo any day of the week. I think Stingley's just better.
If your name is J.C. Horn, I'll take that.
I've like J.C. Horn is great too. I've liked Stingley since he was a freshman at LSU. I've always liked Stingley. I wanted the Broncos to not draft PS2, just so people remember this, in 2021, because I wanted them to get Justin Fields because they didn't have a quarterback for 12 years. I'm tired of this quarter. I don't need another quarter. Then you could just get Stingley the very next year.
You like them Ike Taylor ass niggas. I'm not with you.
I don't like Ike Taylor. Ike
Taylor ass niggas.
Ike Taylor
all cover, no picks. No, thank you. Hands for bricks. No, thank you.
Ike Taylor used to get
Ike Taylor had 50 hands on Madden, man. No, thank you, brother.
To me, Stingley is like, I love PS2, but to me, Stingley the best corner in the world, bro.
Man, stop it, bro. I'm sorry.
I was at the store. I'm sorry, bro.
How you that?
I'm at the store. Swiper, shame on you. I'm gonna come back to you in a second, but shame on you. That is crazy that you really let them get that DB shit off. First off, I'm gonna let you guys know, until linebackers start being underdeveloped, that is the heart and soul of your defense. They are the signal callers. So you have a phenomenal linebacker, a la Luke Kuechly, a la Fred Warner, a la Bobby Wagner, a la Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
They put a certain level of intimidation over a defense that the DB just can't do. Because first off, one way to neutralize a DB, I'm going to just run the ball the whole fucking game. But when I do that with a linebacker like Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Ray Lewis, oh, man, this shit get real murky out here. I think my starting running back got a concussion. Coming back to the sideline. I don't want this shit no more, coach. First off, when you got a nigga like Ray Lewis, besides Chris McAllister, who else played DB for the Ravens? But
my nigga everywhere. No. Still though. What's my man named Starks? What's my guy name?
Yeah, but look, you being a football head right now. The average person tell you about that defense is Ray Lewis pretty much in them DBs, Chris McAllister, and everybody else.
You're talking about corners, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about for a position.
I gotta ask. So you think
when you talk about all-time great?
You keep
I'm
saying
gonna go with a
DBs, but like that would include.
They did have to go safety back there.
Specify. That's what I'm
Rob
saying.
Wilson when they was old. And
No, Ed Reed.
wait. Two questions.
And that's perfect. And that's perfect that you say that. But when you think about the Ravens, you still think about Ray Lewis over Ed Reed.
Samari Rowe. I know I was stripped Samari Rowe.
Even though Ed Reed was great,
yeah, he was
solid. Still think about it, Ray Lewis, because why?
They were both though. They were both elite.
But I'll be honest,
they were both the best at their positions.
Samari Rowe had 2 first-team All-Pro for Tennessee. Don't play with Samari Rowe like that.
The thing I'll say about this, and I agree with.
Let's ask him a question real quick. My bad, D-Man. Because he came on here on time, and so I gotta check his temp. So you believe
that they're gonna yoo-hoo? Let me stop.
So you believe the middle linebacker position is more valuable in football than
not now, but from overall standpoint, I would take a great middle linebacker.
So you would take a
Fred Warner over.
Oh yeah, Fred Warner
over PS2.
Come on, bro.
Because again, we got to the best of the best. So best linebacker.
I'm biased here, y'all. I played inside linebacker. I love the position.
It depends on a lot of me.
Do not fit a lot of me.
But it depends on
Warner or PS2.
It depends on who you talk about. Like I would, in theory, I would take Luke Kuechly over a lot of DBs.
A lot.
Like Darrell Revis.
When niggas say, "Oh, will you take a Luke Kuechly over a Champ Bailey or Darrell Revis?"
No, I'm not.
Hell no.
I'm not.
Hell no.
Exactly. So it depends on. It depends.
Like, I'm not taking Champ Bailey.
I mean, you're basically saying the top of the top.
Yeah, whoever you think is the greatest corner, would you take him over the greatest linebacker? So would you take if you think Revis is number 1 of all time, would you take him or would you take Ray Lewis?
I'm taking Darrell Revis.
I'm taking Ray
Lewis.
Okay then. I'm taking Ray Lewis.
You gotta pass the ball on them.
I'm taking a corner, bro. If I could get a guy that shut down,
especially where offenses is now, I can just put this dude in the slot,
bro.
A third of the field away, I'm taking
right here. I can put this dude in the slot. I can run away from you all game. We can play cat and mouse all game. That's why
I say that, because quarterbacks, like if I'm a quarterback,
what inside linebacker has made that big of a difference in the run game? Do you think though? Like from top 5, top 10 to
Ray Lewis, Sam Shields, Luke Kuechly. Like the list go on and on. Yeah, like when them boys made hell of an impact in the run game, bro.
But
like,
in my opinion,
Fletcher.
What he said though, like guys like Ray Lewis intimidated a quarterback so much that like they're focused. Like Peyton Manning will tell you, I'm focusing on Ray Lewis. I'm not even thinking about Chris McAllister or Samari Rowe. Ray Lewis is such a technician. I'm like, I'm gonna fool him. So I'm like, if you got a quarterback overcompensating on you, it helps your whole defense out.
And Brady even said,
I'm worried about where he at.
When I play against Ray Lewis, I can't throw the ball over the middle of the field. Why is that? Because we might lose this guy for the next 2 weeks if I do.
Yeah, like Tom Brady also had on his QB thing, find number 20.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody did.
He literally had on his quarterback thing
number 20.
Bro, yo, when they pulled out that Hall of Fame clip with Bill Belichick and them, I seen on a deep route, I seen Ed Reed run to his left, Trent.
Nigga speed
Peyton around, and then I'm talking about then
turn around. What was the joke? Who was it? Wait, who was the? It was the
guy that was playing in Peyton Manning's face for 3-4 weeks till he played him. He was playing in Peyton Manning's face for 3-4 weeks. Then when he played him, he got the pick he wanted because for a week he said, "I know I'm about to play Peyton." Like if you told me Ed Reed or Ray Lewis, I'm taking
Ed Reed was crazy.
Who was the running back who had the pass play and your man was like, don't throw it, this Ed, don't throw it. And the nigga still took it.
It was the Jets thing when they did a little trick play. He threw it.
He was like, don't throw it.
Oh yeah. But I do want to ask the question, like, we understand when it comes to like pre-snap reads and then like post-snap conditional understanding of the down-to-down, what we got to do. We give a lot of credit to quarterbacks, which is why Peyton Manning is highly coveted. But are we, even though I agree on-field, DB skills can just change the game, are we undervaluing the fact that the middle linebacker is that quarterback of the defense on a down-to-down play every single time?
No, because in some defenses, the safety, like I'm about to say, I'll tell you right now.
Yep.
I played in what we call a cover 4 call system. So how that works is our shell usually is a 2-high cover 4. But the strong safety, that's to the boundary, and the free safety that's to the field, they have autonomy over the coverage based off what the formation is by the defense, by the offense, excuse me. So I'm not willing to say that because in certain systems, the safety is calling the coverage. I want you to know right now, gang, I've never played in a system in my entire collegiate high school career where I got the coverage from the DB, from the middle linebacker. My safeties or my defensive coordinator on the sideline who gave the signal is who gave me the coverage. I think people listen. I think you can be a really intelligent linebacker. Like my favorite.
Well, most linebackers can't do that, though. To be fair,
exactly, and that's my point.
But some of us could.
But I like to. I want to go ahead.
No. The last thing I was going to say, I was only going to give kudos to. But I think an intelligent linebacker is huge. I think a linebacker should know everything that's going on to the same extent as a quarterback. But in certain defensive systems, they're not responsible over that. They're responsible for the box, setting the front, strong side versus weak side. Like I think, for example, Carson Schlesinger with the Cleveland Browns, he's going to be the best middle linebacker in football at some point. He's easily
sooner rather than later.
I think
he'll be a Luke Kuechly like nigga. He'll be.
I think it will be next year. I think it could be as soon as this season coming up. He's the best middle linebacker,
especially if Fred ain't the same person.
But even if he's an all-pro, bona fide NFL top 100, top 10 player at middle linebacker, I would never make a case where I would value him over Gonzo, J.C. Horn, PS2, or Stingley, because I still value what they think.
But can we argue that fact that
to be fair though,
real quick,
in certain offensive systems, the center is huge in adjusting pre-snap of like what the offensive line is doing, which obviously we know is extremely important. So if we're talking about like the top of the top, like a Fred Warner, for example, I would imagine in that defense in particular, that wouldn't be like the same situation. Now, obviously, I don't know, but that wouldn't be the same situation.
Comparing a middle linebacker to a center, setting the protection at the quarterback already set, it's not even. I'm gonna be honest, and this is.
I know they're different.
This is more of an X's and O's thing, bro. This is just knowledge of the game, gang. That offensive line, bro, that center calling out like, because first of all, the quarterback is calling out the mic. The quarterback is calling the pass protection. The quarterback is the guy who, if based off the defense, I'm canning it audible. Like it's not even the communication or the thing is not remotely close. My bad.
And there are centers that have more responsibilities to do, but at the end of the day, it starts with the play call. The quarterback is receiving the play call, and the center knows what to do with the protection scheme off of that after they hear the play call from that standpoint too. And the thing I want to piggyback off of what J. Rob was getting to is like, especially when we're talking about specifically in the modern day, you are now having defenses around the league that are having their safety because the green dot is something that just, recently relative to NFL history got introduced where you can call it directly into a defensive player. This is something that now is starting to be not necessarily the Mike linebacker. It's starting to move more so to these safeties. Derwin James has been calling the Chargers defense as a green dot for the last half decade because that's his responsibility as far as that defense is concerned. These are the things that are evolving from the NFL perspective that are important to understand because to J. Rob's point, more often than not, they've had safeties saying, hey, this is what the coverage is going to be. These are the adjustments. And when anytime, and I know this is an example for Spags, it started with Tyrann Mathieu when he first came here in 2019. Then it got handed down to Justin Reed and Brian Cook last year. You're the guy that sees everything as the full picture. So you have to relay everything to the rest of everybody if the offense is making any shifts or change. And that's what we trust you to be able to do. And sometimes, and I should say certain systems are now taking it to that next level where it's like, you're just going to be the guy that gets to play and you're going to set everything up. Now, that doesn't take away from what the Mike linebacker has to do from responsibility of making sure that we're being gap disciplined, of course. Right. But that aspect of it is absolutely evolving from the NFL game's perspective with the green dot. Is like we're starting to shift some of this to the safety responsibility just because it makes more sense in a lot of these systems.
But can we agree that like you can, in the history of the game, and maybe that might change, but like you could more so win with like we talking about front seven situation, like you could more so win with a elite linebacker and a kind of mid corner than you can with a elite corner and a mid linebacker. Like a middle linebacker can hurt you drastically.
I don't agree with that, bro.
In today's defense,
I'm gonna be honest.
I said maybe the times would change, but I'm talking about in history. you're most likely to win if you have a defense that has an elite middle linebacker and maybe a mid to like above average corner than to have a elite corner and a mid fucking linebacker. Middle linebacker.
I don't even in the slightest agree with that, gang. Just because if you have an elite defensive line, they're gonna make a lot of things right for you. And I'm not willing to say that if you have a mid linebacker, your defense is more susceptible to being gashed or explosive plays compared to if you had just a mid corner. Like, bro, if you have a mid corner, we literally picking on him all game. If Riley Moss is out
but
there,
even with the Steelers,
Riley Moss is out there, we throwing at Riley Moss all game. Not just like explosive. We throwing hitches at him, slants. Like we are attacking him.
But even with Pittsburgh, when you look at Highsmith,
early, 1 second.
TJ Watt.
And the perfect example of this was a big problem for the Eagles last year. Adoree Jackson had a big ass target on his back. They were like, "We're not throwing it at Cooper. We're not throwing it at Quinyon. We know Adoree Jackson we can get every single time if we can match." And because offenses have evolved so well,
they had regression at the linebacker position too, though. They had regression at the linebacker position. Major regression at the linebacker position. Zach Bond did not look like his all-pro self at all.
Bond largely was fine in my opinion.
He was still.
Nakobe Dean was injured a lot.
Yeah, but they had Campbell. Campbell stepped
also, on top of that, too, to go back to your point with the safeties making calling the plays, them is box safeties. A lot of them safeties, which y'all talking about, they find themselves in the box.
Not necessarily. Because the Rams,
Derwin James.
Hold on. I'm going to disagree with you from the standpoint. The Rams Super Bowl defense was called by Fuller as a green dot, and then they handed it down to Eric Weddle. Neither of those guys were playing in the box. That was Jalen Ramsey was the star position for that Rams Super Bowl defense. So I understand your point, Bama. Yes, they had some linebacker regression because Zach Bond was not quite an
My fault. Come back one more time. Jalen Ramsey was what? Jalen Ramsey was what? He was the what? No, Aaron Donald was. Aaron Donald. No. Say it with me. Aaron Donald.
Early.
Aaron Donald. You niggas let him say this too. Y'all let him say this.
Early. Stop talking for 2 seconds. I will explain this to you. I'm talking X's and O's, not who was the star of the defense. Those are two different.
Yeah,
things.
that's what I said.
The star.
But your X's and O's starts with Aaron Donald.
No. Yo, bro, are you okay?
You're just arguing.
I locked in chat.
But we get back on track. But to answer your question about mid linebacker versus mid corner, and this applies to really all defense and really all football because it starts with this. It depends on what you're running and what you're asking these guys to do. If you have a strong spine in the defense, you can have corners out there that are just going to beat the hell out of them, and you feel comfortable with your defensive line being able to get after the passer faster than get the ball off. You can get away with mid corners. That has happened. You can get away with being able to hide some of the linebacker aspects and deficiencies if you feel really good about what your DBs can do. And again, you have the front. But I think this is where I just come back to as far as defensive football. You have to have the front. Nothing in football is going to work if you're getting your ass kicked up front.
The front four are always the most important.
We could talk about what's more important between that second and third level. That front got to be there. If it's not there, then you're dead on arrival no matter what.
So front seven or back four?
Depends on what you want to run, but I'm always going to say give me the better front, and I'll go from there. I'll figure the rest out.
You build your team from the front, bro.
Niggas have got bad quarters have gotten paid because of good front sevens. I'm just gonna say that.
Absolutely.
Like who? Yeah, Deron Bland.
For sure.
Diggs.
Yeah. And then went somewhere else and was poo-poo.
Diggs.
Sneed.
Sneed was horrible.
Sneed was trolling when he was.
I agree.
Sneed just got hurt, unfortunately.
Niggas have gotten paid and became number one corners in plays because they thought they were good. Because the front seven was so good.
The Chiefs didn't have like a crazy front four.
I do think
we didn't. It was just great. It was just.
I will say this.
Wasn't worth that much.
Like for some corners though, and I'm not because I do think the guys that y'all mentioned definitely regressed when they got the bread.
Who?
I will say this though, like
which one?
You just said it. You just said three. You just said
names, bro.
You said three of them.
Diggs and Bland.
Josh Norman didn't regress. That's a myth.
Josh Norman?
He went to
neither did Namdi. That's another miss.
I heard
Namdi didn't regress.
Neither did Namdi. You don't marry Kerry Washington and regress in life.
Namdi definitely regressed after the year.
Wait, but they asked Namdi to do something that he wasn't.
That he didn't exactly. So he didn't regress. He just did something that he shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, I'll tell you another one. Dre Bly. That's another one. Left the Lions.
These corners can't guard forever.
I don't do that to Dre Bly.
Yeah.
You remember Dre Bly?
Absolutely, Jared.
Who don't remember Dre Bly? I'm a boy. Dre Bly, one of my favorites.
And that's why I said
5'9" little nigga, 32.
Hey, early. Matter of fact, Dre Bly commented on one of our posts, or it was probably from our page. He don't know.
Yeah, he don't know.
Yeah, he don't know.
Well,
he's too busy arguing with Gilly about playing basketball.
He wouldn't even argue. He about to cry.
Yeah, shout out to Gilly. Shout out to everybody in New York. Gilly's very small. Bam and him are the same height. But shout out to Gilly, man.
You let a midget have you in your fields?
In your fields.
We were waiting in that line for like 2 hours. I was ready to go.
I saw jumper.
Byron Jones is good, by the way. Byron Jones is good, mind you. That's not true.
In your star moment, that's what you say.
What I
And I ain't gonna lie, that jumper that Gilly got would it's all right now. You can say jumper whack, but he didn't put some niggas on their ass with that jumper. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Gilly is very small, but shout out to Gilly. He was cool.
Private time a nigga play prison ball, the nigga smaller than him. You can tell.
No, I'll just be.
J-Rob a prison ball player too.
I heard about that PC weekend. I heard he was out there playing Oakley basketball.
Don't listen to him, bro.
I heard he was out there playing Draymond Green basketball.
That boy Ben was out there playing football, man. I was just trying to survive, bro.
Wait. Who did Bama play? Didn't shake his hand after? Who was that? That was J-Rob?
That was my bro.
Everything about Bama says if he loses, he don't shake your hand. Like everything about him.
Bro, he was, bro. I didn't think he was gonna play like that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Play like what?
Nigga really was bully ball.
I'm taking that nigga to the paint. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hey, respectfully, niggas act like J-Rob's a little guy. He's not a little guy. Like,
J-Rob like
he's tall and he's solid. He ain't no tall, skinny nigga.
Why are you mad at him for playing that way?
Not
call fouls?
Bro, it wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wasn't really no fouls, bro.
Oh, hook shot.
Bro, Bama 5'5", bro. I'm not settling for a jumper, bro. I'm sorry, gang. I don't know what y'all thought I was finna do on that video.
Hey, J-Rob, get that baby out the street. What are you talking about? Get that baby out the street.
If people thought I was gonna go there and tween,
get that baby out the street. What is wrong with these niggas in here? In the box, nigga. I got one.
Man,
I'm
gonna play with a taser. I'm gonna play, man.
You gotta get stocky.
Hey, J-Rob, he thought you was gonna be Chet Holmgren. I'm a pity pack.
Hey, that's all. Next time,
I'll tell you what. Hey, Trent, the reason why somebody asked me the other day if I'll be considered playing in a flag football league, people like Bama are the reason why I would never do that. Because I'm not playing against these wreck All-Americans, bro. I don't want to. I'm not about to try all that effort. Trent, you muted, Trent. You muted, Trent. Trent, you're muted.
If Bama and knees one messed up, he'd be in 37U.
Yeah, I tell you right now, if Bama's knees was not messed up, he'd be playing 37U.
Absolutely.
I'll be playing Rick basketball though.
Talking about I do this.
I'll be playing Rick basketball for sure.
Tell them boys about me.
In the 40 and up league.
Yo.
It's okay to be 37 and play football for you, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yo, get active.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool. I can't do it for no health insurance.
It is not okay to play 37 years. Let me do a PSA. It is not okay to have kids in a family and tear your body apart at 37.
How are you gonna tear your family apart playing?
Tear your body apart.
Bro, I seen them playing.
Your kids need you.
We don't get flag or tackle.
Wait, Trent, what?
I said I just seen a clip of them playing 37U on a basketball court. This shit is not okay.
Football?
Not okay.
Yes.
Them niggas be actually tackling. You have shit to do in the morning. Them niggas have jobs.
Exactly. I'm like, bro.
Is not okay, bro.
If the city find out you niggas out here playing football, bro, they gonna revoke y'all. They gonna revoke y'all health insurance, bro.
I'm saying, like,
if T-Mobile find out you out here playing on their health insurance, There's go, bro. You gonna be in trouble, bro. You gonna be in trouble.
Hey, for real, Bama, and Swipe, but for real, Swipe, have you ever on some real shit? Now again, maybe not now in your 30s, but have you ever like in your late 20s, you and the fellas, and it's like let's play a game of football, and the first time you can tackle, you be like, oh, niggas getting too old for this. Like, I got shit to do in the morning. I got shit to do in the morning. Y'all
I haven't tackled a younger man since 2012.
Look. 37U, that's remember the conversation we had probably a couple months ago? That's some shit. That's the love of the game. You got that. That's love of the game.
That's Bama, but that's Bama. Bama, hold on, J-Rod.
That's the losing of the game.
Hold on. Time out. Hold on, mic check. J-Rod, Bama, like 6 months ago, Trent, when was it? This during season, before season, Bama got so mad at me in particular. He was talking about line it up.
He lost his mind.
Line it up. When I see you put the pads on, why would I do that? No, Trent, J-Rod, why would I do that? I would never.
Pretty much what I did. Old school. Back in the day, I challenged you to a duel at dawn, nigga, and you turned it. Like, that's all that was. Like, that's all that was. Hey,
Bama was talking crazy, Chad.
And mind you, Bama, because of the things Bama body has been through, he not doing it. It's like Ish saying he gonna do a backflip. Bama not about to run head to head with you with no pads and no helmet on.
No,
at fucking 35 years old.
No,
you wouldn't, Bama.
No,
that shit was performative, Bama. You wouldn't do no shit.
He challenged me to an Oklahoma drill. What do I look like?
This is the thing. Like, you know, we can, hey man, let's go outside. Let's play horse. Let's go 1-on-1. That's a different thing. That, you know, this is insane. This is just this is unnecessary. Nobody in their right mind should ever be like, let's line up an Oklahoma.
Look, and I'm telling y'all, bro, this is why.
And we play the game of undisputed D-Mac, and you lose.
But early, this is why I'm telling y'all, when y'all talk about some of us up here, bro, y'all don't realize I was a maniac and I was very good. I would murder a lot of y'all. Like, but for what? For what though? I'm saying like that. It's over. Those days are done. I don't want to put. I haven't put pads on. Riddell, how old are you?
28.
I haven't put pads on since Riddell was 2026. Since she was 14 years old, basically. Think about how long ago that was.
Wow, I was 12.
Like, I haven't put a helmet and pads and all that stuff on for what? So for what?
Yeah,
I could not imagine.
That's crazy.
And mind you, even like respectfully, even like today, right? If we was to do a flag football game with like PC,
for what?
No, hear what I'm saying. If we was to do a flag football game, I promise you, there's some niggas that like
crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I think there's some niggas who would surprise you about how athletic they are.
Y'all don't even stretch, but I'm saying half of y'all don't even stretch. You know, I watched a grown man. We had the 40 and up people playing for a church league one time, maybe like 6-7 years ago early. And there was a 40 and up, like on the other side for their team. He tore his patella tendon at a church football thing. I'm like, it was so bad. His wife was there. It was raining outside. I had to get out there and cover him. We had to call the ambulance and whatnot. You know,
and that's why 37 you was insane.
No, but I'm like, but why? But why would you do that?
J-Rob, you seen the clip that went viral of the way the niggas are shaped in 37U?
They shaped like early. Why would I do that?
Why would I do violate me? Why would you violate me?
That's not love of the game, man. That's just straight up insanity. I don't give a damn, bro. That's crazy.
Yo, but hold on, side note.
Football is not that fun.
What is it finally the year for Dallas though? Like, what do you mean by that?
All right, yeah. So basically, the Dallas folks have been talking about, like, they asked Dak Prescott the other day, you know, the Super Bowl expectations are there, right? Like, we believe that, you know, this is the season that we can go. We believe in our guys, we believe in our team. And to be fair, Trent, their defense is actually a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better now. Post Quentin Williams trade, they actually got a real squad. If you look at their roster right now, they got Quentin Williams, they got Otito, they got Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. I like Overshown a lot. They got Aziriaku, I believe is how you pronounce his name. They got Malik Hooker, Deron Bland, and obviously they just drafted Caleb Downs. Their defense should be way better. If Caleb Downs is what we think he is, their defense should be way better. They got a good DC. They got a really good offense. The Tylers are all healthy right now, which is Booker, Smith, and then Guyton. And then they got Dak Prescott, obviously, Javonte Williams back for another year, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. This should be a very good all-around team. So I'm asking in the NFC East this year. I don't know what the Eagles are going to be this next year. Don't know what the Commanders are going to be this next year. Don't know what the Giants are going to be this next year. And you look at the NFC as a whole, Seattle's good, but like, are they going to be able to repeat last year's success? Obviously, but then even with the Rams, they're really good. But again, Rams are also on paper. Like I don't. But I'm always cautious about paper teams because you just don't know.
The Cowboys, the Cowboys are definitely a playoff roster. Definitely should. I think they should make the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts. They should make the playoffs.
But why are they not? I guess what would make them not a contender?
Just telling me, brother.
This is why I call Swiper a magician.
Exactly. If their defense literally can take a good jump, just a decent jump, take a decent jump that they have, and they already have one of the best offenses in the league. They should be a playoff team. But this is
why Swiper is a magician.
Finally the year, that's never happened.
Swiper's a magician because a magician's whole plan is to dilute you from the actual trick.
Yeah, look at that trick.
Okay, now that
that's crazy. You see that trick? Early. Hey, it's early. Whoosh.
Another bitch, you. Swiper's whole. Yeah, that's why you can't give certain niggas power. All right.
Hey, you see that? Whoosh.
Goddamn Swiper Trump. But this is why Swiper's a magician. Swiper's he knows that there's a damn good chance that Denver Broncos can get to the Super Bowl. And he's been pushing this that Cowboys propaganda since the offseason started because you don't want to face the Rams. And you know, like I know, if you had to go against the Cowboys in the Super Bowl as a Bronco fan, you would much rather deal with the Cowboys than deal with the Rams.
The Rams in Denver play this year. In Denver.
And we're talking about in the Super Bowl, though. You would much rather deal with the Cowboys and the Rams, but we both know the Rams are going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know if they are. I said names on the
If healthy. If everyone's healthy, Rams.
I was going to say Bama.
I don't get the on paper.
And Aaron Donald is this close to coming back.
In all intents and purposes, when it comes down to the Rams, they just improved their deficiencies. I don't know how this is an on paper thing.
Yeah, I've just been looking at this, bro, ever since they signed Miles Garrett, bro. Like I just been looking at this Dallas team from afar, bro. And I'm just like, bro, something tell me, bro, like, because Jerry Jones been making too many football moves. Normally, watching the Cowboys, he do
Jerry Jones make football moves. What if the Rams?
This past season, bro, like you gotta respect the moves he done made, bro. Like he been cooking, bro. Like on a football level, like I've been looking at it. I was like, bro, this actually makes sense for the Cowboys right now.
But the Rams were a game winner in the Super Bowl because of their corners. They have a top 5 corner now.
No, but I guess go ahead, Bama. Finish your point, Bama.
But what I'm saying is we like to give layups. When Myles Garrett signed over there, everybody was just like, oh, Aaron Donald finna come over there and they just finna walk to the Super Bowl. In my experience, bro, a lot of times when stuff like that happen, it rarely works out. Like, it might look good on paper, but I was looking at other places. I'm like, bro, who would be a team that we least expect and it's really gonna leave like kind of a crazy taste in your mouth, pause, if they do beat them? And I was like, bro, the Cowboys, it just makes sense, bro. They've been losing for 30 years, bro. They've been losing for 30 years.
That Eagles team, y'all get so funny with that Eagles team.
Bama is in the middle of talking.
I'm just saying, bro, they've been losing for 30 years, bro. I think this is the time.
And they'll lose for 30 more.
Bro. Early, you need
yeah.
First off, Riddell, y'all ain't
Early had a corner in the house. I know he did.
I'm saying, Bama, y'all just like that. Yeah, just like the 49ers, bro.
I don't like the Cowboys. I was just being.
I'll be honest, Cowboy fans.
You literally used to be a Cowboys fan, bro. You still have.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When I see the Cowboys,
I also got a Tony Romo jersey and a Zeke jersey.
Exactly.
So you're a Cowboys fan.
You're a Cowboys fan. There's no way you're a
Tony Romo jersey is kind of crazy.
A Cowboy.
I thought you were a Cowboys fan too.
Heat, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, Tony was tough, bro.
No, he's a good quarterback.
When I have 2 rings, because
when I see the Cowboys, it is just about, hey, can that defense get to the middle of the pack? Which I think it can. I like some of the defensive line aspects that they've been able to put together. Like when Quentin Williams came over, he legitimately looked like the Quentin Williams that we thought was a really good young player early on in his career with the Jets too. So it felt like kind of renewed. Caleb Downs in the back end, I think is going to be massive for them. They never got a healthy Siobhan Ravel, a guy that I really liked coming out of college a year ago. And I think that him now, a full year removed from that ACL surgery, is going to provide something from them from a cornerback perspective. I think they're going to have an elite offense. When you're talking about the NFC right now, as far as Super Bowl contenders, you should look at the Rams obviously at the top of that list, as you know, and I'm not even saying that they should hold the belt because technically the Seahawks would. So you want to say the number one contender, whatever. But the Cowboys are, in my opinion, in the mix. I think that they have a really good shot at winning this division. I think that the defense will be middle of the pack, and I think that the offense is going to be elite, and that's a recipe that can make you one of the Super Bowl contenders in the National Football League. And from a matchup perspective, I like their front on both sides. And this is what it comes down to in the trenches. There's not going to, and I know that like the Rams are going to be concerning, but they got the offensive line where it's like, hey, we feel like we're going to be able to play offensive football functionally against what that Rams defensive line can present. So I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Rams as Bama is, but I'm saying them being a contender is something that I can see the path to for sure.
I will say this though. I want to say something. Everybody's saying great things. Do I think that they have a much improved defense? Yes. Do I think they're going to have one of the best offenses in the league? Yes. But it's like, how many times have we seen this movie over and over and over again for the past 10 years where they make the playoffs, the defense doesn't show up, they give up 200 rushing yards to somebody's backup running back, Dak runs down the middle of the field, 10 seconds left on the clock, they lose the game that way, the head coach calls stupid plays in the clutch. It's like, I will never ever say that they are Super Bowl or bust because they've never even gotten close enough to be Super Bowl or bust. And they've had better defenses than the ones that they have now. And they have yet to perform at an elite level in the playoffs specifically.
I agree with that. I think I'm sorry, real quick, I want to respond. The thing that I would disagree would be on a few different levels. And this is for me, I've never really bought into a Cowboys team the same way that I'm buying into this just because I can see the formula. The interior of the defensive line, I think, is significantly better than anything we've really seen from this team in years past from that perspective. I think that the other aspect of it, when you look at the coaching staff, it's Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, some shit that I just didn't believe in. Brian Schottenheimer really impressed me last year with the way that he was able to handle that offense, was able to mix in different schemes and really mesh things together with what Dak liked to do. And then the Clayton Adams aspect of it, of what he was bringing over with the run game from the Cardinals as well, I thought was excellent, especially when you talk about develop that young offensive line was massive. And I think that that's going to be important for Tyler Guyton to get even better next year as the left tackle specifically. And then the last element is what Christian Parker brings over from a defensive coordinator perspective is a sound level of defensive scheme. And I think that that's going to be the real difference maker of saying, hey, the things that we've seen in Cowboys playoff exits in the past that have really been able to take advantage of, they've completely just blown them off the ball and being able to manipulate them like we saw Matt LaFleur do in that one Green Bay game. We saw the San Francisco 49ers actually take them behind the woodshed. That stuff I think is going to be mitigated to a sense because they don't have as obvious playoff mismatches to be exploited, particularly on the defensive side that I've seen of Cowboys teams in the past.
I also want to say, like, are the Cowboys contenders in the way that some of these other tier 2 teams are contenders? I guess so. Like some of these NFC North teams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, like they can be comp for them, of course. But the idea that the Rams would be on paper team, especially if you're making the claim that when's the last time we've seen a team put together all this talent and then they won it all? It was the Rams. When they brought in Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, brought in Matthew Stafford, they won it all at that time. And in this situation, nothing's changed for the Rams offense. And as for the defense, their biggest holes was corner and obviously they upgraded when they went from Jared Verse to Myles Garrett when it comes to pass rusher. So their core elements of who the Rams' identity are is still the same. The foundation is still there. And then they got better in their weakest elements. So unless Rams come with like injuries, I don't see the conversation with the Cowboys and the Rams. But if we're going to have the conversation with like these other teams, are we confident they're better than the Seahawks? Are we confident they're better than the Eagles? They're better than the 49ers? They're better than the upgrade or the expected leap for the Bears? Are we confident about all those things?
I think they're better than the 49ers, but
I think that there are some of those teams that I could say that I do expect them to be better than. I think their defense will be better than what the Bears are going to present, even though I think the Bears are going to have an explosive offense in their own right too. Like the thing about, hey, can you beat the Rams? If it's a 7-game series, no. I don't think that's necessarily the case for any one of these teams. But you got to have the offensive line that gives your offense a chance to put up 30 points. I think that they have one of those units. And that's something that everything else that we can kind of talk about and point at is, and I don't think the Rams are on paper. I think that what you guys said, they upgraded the corners, adding Myles Garrett is just insane from that perspective. Like even some of the little things that they've done, especially from tight end position, like they're going to increase what Terrence Ferguson brings to the table for their offense too. Like the Rams are absolutely should be held up there as just, hey, these guys are the Super Bowl favorites. But when you talk about, hey, who can compete with them? It starts with, do you have an offensive line that's going to allow your offense to have the firepower to put up 30 points? I think that they do that. And then it's like, hey, any given Sunday, can your defense make enough plays to get them off the field once or twice? And all of a sudden, you're in the Super Bowl. That is something that I think a path exists.
I think the Rams are by far not a paper team. It's just that, I say, they don't win the Super Bowl, they're failures. So, like, they should be declared.
They're the real Super Bowl or bust team to me.
No, I mean, there's a couple.
Yeah, that's why you do this thing.
Like, this is the definition. Like, I say, unless like a whole bunch of people get injured at a Super Bowl for the Rams, bro, they lose, bro. That's complete. That's the worst shit I've seen in years. So they should be. They should literally be fine. Like there's, I got people talking about some. Please tell me why
they're not going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, if they don't, they're failures.
The Rams.
Yeah, I know who's going to win the Super Bowl, J-Rob.
I know
who's going to win.
Yes, that's a failure. No, they're failures.
It is Super Bowl. They are Super Bowl or bust. 100%.
I want to hear why J-Rob said that they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you look at the NFL, in my opinion, I just don't think as of late, like, except for like the Chiefs, bro, and like the Patriots era, I don't feel like there's really ever been to me a team as of late that's just like they're a shoe-in to win because of how they look on paper. I think there's a few teams that look decent on paper. Like, the Rams, if you look down the list, you got a bunch of big names. You got Myles Garrett. You got freaking Stafford, Trent McDuffie. You got running backs. You got receiver. You got Devontae, Puka. I mean, I love all that on paper. Don't get it twisted. But, like, I don't think just because what you see on paper makes them the clear-cut favorite to win it all. I mean, it's football, guys. Like, this is the game of football. Like, we could make a face about that. Like, but it's I'm not conceding that they don't have on paper an elite. They have an elite team that can win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go in the playoffs, why couldn't they go? Why can't they have to? What if they go to Philly and lose? What if Philly comes to them and Philly wins? But what if they got to play the Cowboys in Jerry World and the Cowboys win? If they got to play the Seattle Seahawks and the Seattle Seahawks are still just as good and they win? Like, I think this idea that because I think football is not like the NBA, bro.
I feel you, bro, but it's just like this conversation literally feels like deja vu because I was saying the same exact shit when Saquon got signed to Philly and we was having these same doubts, saying the same things. And then on the flip side, you really have the Rams, who has a phenomenal offense. You really have Puka Devontae, you got Kyron Blake, and you got Stafford. Then on the flip side, on the defensive side of the ball, let's say the reason why they didn't even go to the Super Bowl was because of special teams. That's number one. 100%. Number two, the Rams. They didn't. That's if that fumble doesn't happen,
brother. They shouldn't have beat the Panthers. They went past that because
they shouldn't have.
Other points,
that. But even then,
I mean, I'm saying, but Trey, you can't dismiss that. It was 40 seconds left in the game.
Even then, still because the Panthers game, niggas were getting cooked. We talked about corners. You get Trent McDuffie, and then you get the best defensive player in the fucking world. So, like, to me, like, we can say super teams don't work. It's the NFL. This and that. But when you make that many upgrades while you still having all this shit on offense, bro, they are, to me, they're the favorites. If they don't win, they're failures.
A lot of the teams, though.
Go ahead, Ben.
Go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was I agree with what you're saying. But that's not my point in this. My point is that the Rams should have championship or bust expectations. That's what the roster was built for. They've been FM picks for years. They are in win now mode, not taking that away from them. But I'm not looking at this season and I'm like, yeah, the Rams on paper are crazy, so they gotta win it. Like, it's football, bro. Like,
this is where I would
go on the road and lose to the Cowboys. If they go in the playoffs and they lost to Caleb Williams and the Bears, like, I'm expecting other teams next year in the NFC to meet that intensity. Like, I'm expecting the Bears to be a better football team next year. I'm expecting the Minnesota Vikings to be a good football team next year. I'm expecting the Eagles to be a good football team next year. We just talked about the Cowboys. I do agree. The Cowboys have nothing to hold your hat on, but on paper, bro, I think they're a good football team. They can definitely win. Rams got a lot of things to that you love, but I don't want to sit here like if you ask me who's going to the Super Bowl, who's winning it, I'm not saying the Rams.
Who are you picking right now?
Who are you picking then?
Yeah. What's that mean, bro?
Nigga smiling.
Trent know who I'm picking to win it all.
Who?
The Texans?
Lamar.
Hey, man. So here's where I would agree with you. I don't think this is going to be a situation where we're looking at them like the 2017 Warriors, where it's like stamp, they win the championship. But I do think the only times where I'm like, unless injuries happen, I always have to put that caveat. A team that could really make a difference would be a team that has that out of this world quarterback. So the Baltimore Ravens conversation with Lamar Jackson, the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs, my agenda, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Those are the only teams I'm like, okay, they could just do some magic and then beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
What?
But there's no team in the NFC. There's no team in the NFC.
Now I got to go back to my point. And a lot of the teams that J-Rob named, and even in the NFC in general, now that I'm thinking in the NFC in general, y'all finna laugh at this, but we just talked the whole time about middle linebackers and all of that. I don't know who the middle linebacker is for the Rams right now. Remember when they did win the Super Bowl, they bought in Bobby Wagner along with Von Miller and all of those guys. So there go your signal caller right there. Time out. Let me finish.
Nick Lammon's cool.
They bought in Bobby Wagner. Okay, so now we get to the playoffs. The game.
Word. That's not like he was washed. Nigga, outstanding.
No, he wasn't, bro.
No, he wasn't, bro.
Like,
hey, bro. No, he was not.
Back to my point.
I want to correct this really quickly. It was not Bobby Wagner. Ernest Jones was.
He wasn't even on the team.
I was thinking like I don't think Wagner was on that.
Bobby Wagner
was on that 2020.
Oh, he came in 2022 when he was washed. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't the same Bobby Wagner.
Ernest Jones was the linebacker, and he was good. He was good for that Rams team that year.
He was washed. Yes.
So back to my point. What J-Rod was talking about in the playoffs, bro, are they going to be able to stop them teams from running the ball? Because those teams that he named are going to be very effective running the ball, bro. I get it. We talk about Myles Garrett, but when we in the playoffs, this chess, not checkers. I don't have to run his way.
But that's what
run the other way. So you say who?
That's what Poona Ford is there for. He's one of the best interior.
So we hoping somebody else do something that's gonna be on the.
He's a good. He was there. He's a really good run stuffer from the interior.
But this is the playoffs, D-Mac. Like this is.
Yes, he does this in the playoffs.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball on
they weren't a bad run defense last year, though.
I'm not gonna say this is a.
But Bama, this is to your point. You're right. Like there, and this is why I say you have to have a certain level of offensive line if you want to try and beat the Rams. I don't think the Packers are going to do that. I don't think their offensive line is going to be up to that task. The Bears, they probably need to get Isaac Trapilo back to have the offensive line that could be up to that challenge. I think the Cowboys are going to have an offensive line that's up to that challenge. Eagles is kind of up in the air what this is going to look like without Stafford.
Seattle got a good
Johnson going to be healthy. Seattle, with Gray Zabel, they had an offensive line that was up to
Fran got a good line.
Can I ask y'all a real question?
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to for me is if you have the offensive line to be able to match up with the defense.
Because just because we're talking about the Rams, like, are the Rams really? Is there really a wide gap between the Rams and the Seahawks? Like, it's a crazy gap.
Yeah, I don't trust that Seahawks run.
Not on an actual football field.
They've been raising Sam for a little minute.
Go ahead,
I don't want. I'm muting myself. Don't want to interrupt anybody. Do we understand that Rams team again barely beat? I mean, that Seattle team barely beat the Rams when they went against each other, and they actually lost pieces like their key running back. Again, when you talk about a Rams team who was as good as they was last year, and you add, like Trent said, the best defensive player in the world and a top 5 corner. And I hate that we act like because Myles Garrett's there that all of a sudden Kobe Turner ain't shit, Brandon Fisk ain't shit. And again, like he said, they got Poona Ford. So there are guys there. This is not a team that is just Myles Garrett and the guys. Those guys are good guys. Turner and those guys are good guys. So now that so even if you don't run on his side, you're not going to run on their side neither. Like, so I don't know why we keep acting like the Rams didn't pick up a top 5 corner and the best defensive player in the world.
But this is where I'm confused. Y'all saying all this, but I feel like we talking about the Rams like they're the KD Warriors. They're not.
Well, you
They're
got
just clearly the best team in the
They're not
NFL.
the KD Warriors because I could never go and say like, yo, if they played like, if y'all think that the Seahawks is just about to fold against the Rams in the NFC West, I think that's crazy to assume.
They got no run game though, Gerald.
You don't know that though.
They just drafted Jadarian Price and they got Charbonnet.
I don't know.
I
don't know what we're talking about here.
I think it's okay to have question marks about the run game because they are. I like Jadarian Price.
So JSN is frying McDuffie.
But we got to bring in the fact that he is going to be coming in to replace Kenneth Walker. Bring in the fact that they did lose Clint Kubiak as well, so that may change some things as far as the structure of the run game too. So. It's okay to have question marks. I won't say that they don't have one, but that would be a question mark to certainly have from that perspective. I don't think it's a wide gap between the Rams and Seahawks. I don't think it's a wide gap between everybody and the Rams from that perspective. I think the Rams should be the favorites, though, because when you're talking about it's not the KD Warriors situation, but to the point that we just made, they had significant deficiencies at the cornerback position. They have upgraded that significantly. And as good of a player as Jared Verse is, that there's a gap there. And I think Jared Verse is legitimately a top 10 edge. There's a gap there when you're talking about what Myles Garrett brings to the table from that perspective. So that is just a massive difference maker for every
But
team.
Early's right. It was a close game in the NFC Championship, and then the Rams got way better and the Seahawks declined.
The Panthers got better.
And y'all acting like respectfully, Bama first said like it could be an outrageous quarterback thing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, that's why we love Lamar, we love Josh. Hang the hat on. This was a close game in the NFC Championship game. The Rams got better, so that means that they're going to like it. It's football.
But even if it's a quarterback, other than Patrick Mahomes, who would you rather have as your quarterback in the clutch, bro? There is not nobody other than Patrick Mahomes who's fucking Matthew Stafford. Not Josh Allen, not Joe Burrow, not fucking Lamar Jackson.
Coming from? Because the year before, Matthew Stafford was throwing up zero. What are you talking about? The very year before,
So Matthew Stafford
he had one touchdown and got walked in the playoffs. What are you talking about?
We're talking about playoffs. Okay, so we're talking about playoffs. Who would you rather have? If you don't have Patrick Mahomes, who would you rather have?
Matthew Stafford.
Name a quarterback then. Name a quarterback.
In the playoffs, I'd rather have Josh Allen over Matthew Stafford. 1,000%.
I'm not saying that that's the wrong.
We don't have to make this a Stafford.
Just because he played his.
Let's go real quick. So hold on. In the playoffs, quick. One question.
Just for Josh Allen's
in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you can't say about PR.
In the playoffs, who would you say you?
I don't know how Josh Allen's playoff PR is worse than
PR and it's a Josh Allen.
But how is Matthew Stafford a better playoff opponent than Josh Allen?
Wait. Let me get this Trent.
Yeah, I know his PR different.
So Trent, in the playoffs, who would you rather have over Matt Stafford?
Josh Allen. I know Josh Allen just had his worst playoff game ever, but we're not going to ignore the resume that Josh Allen has in the playoffs.
Losing to Patrick Mahomes. That's what it is.
You can't hang on.
Can I say something?
If you're asking me,
I'm gonna be an
not to mention Josh Allen still has Devontae Adams and fucking Puka Nacua, by the way.
I gotta be real with y'all, and y'all gonna hate this shit. And I know I'm about to get mad heat in the chat comments. I don't care. I think Josh Allen's playoff success and the playoff conversation around him is the most overrated fucking conversation in football right now. It is the most overrated conversation.
Unless you're comparing it to Lamar Jackson.
Hold on. I don't want to hear about Lamar because I understand Lamar also folded. They both done had their. So I'm not making this a Lamar thing. I'm not even trying to hear that shit right now. I am talking strictly about Josh Allen. When we talk about Josh Allen, his playoff resume is the most overrated resume in the history of football. But because his PR is through the roof, only quarterback to have an arm punt tweeted out by the National Football League, by the way. This guy, if you look at his playoff, I've never seen a guy get milked off losing to Patrick Mahomes and a bunch of wild card wins have been this standard of playoff fucking excellence. It is absolutely ridiculous that we say, oh my God, if I get Josh Allen in the playoffs, we lit. He's a playoff riser. You just watch Josh Allen have the Super Bowl on a silver platter, dog, and played like a absolute Looney Tune.
Absolute game ever.
We've also seen him before play not great in every playoff game he's performed in.
The Baltimore Chiefs game,
but the one against
Bengals game,
the ones against the Chiefs, and
so
like even, and I'm even put it like this: even the game in which they played the Ravens,
he sucked.
He was bad. He was horrible.
He was a game manager. He was a game manager.
Bro.
I'm not John Stockton out there.
Trent, the only reason I'm bringing this up before we go at it, I don't want to hear about Lamar Jackson because it's not that debate. The only reason I also brought this point up is not about Lamar, so it's not about to be a Lamar Jackson debate. Josh Allen debate. You said that he is obviously the better playoff performer.
He is
after Stafford.
He is. Okay.
How?
So
why we acting like Matthew Stafford?
Can I fucking say a word? Fuck. Anyways, in theory, I hear what you're saying. Number one, I think the most overrated playoff resume, we talking about Big Four, it's obviously Joe Burrow. But we can have that conversation.
That's a conversation.
I don't need that shade.
I think it's obviously Joe Burrow.
I
think it's not even close.
Number two, we'll talk about that.
I just don't like that. Even though I do think that his best performances come from a wild card, and then obviously he gets talked about for having great performances. He's lost to Patrick Mahomes. He's still playing phenomenal in those games. J-Rob, you a Jalen Hurts fan?
Yeah, not all of them.
I'm saying
the two AFC.
Yes, D-Mac, he's had duds. Like he's had okay games. I'm just saying, if we're talking about the top, we're talking about the top of the top resume. We're talking about the top of the top quarterbacks outside of Patrick Mahomes. If we're talking about best playoff performances, I would rather have Josh Allen. Now, has he had L's before? Of course, exactly. But I've also seen monster playoff performances that he's had multiple times where I could give him that. And niggas is bringing up Stafford early. You do it all the time with Jalen Hurts. This nigga team is loaded as a bitch. It's literally loaded as fuck. Josh Allen never had some shit like that.
And I will give you that. It's loaded. I'll give you
never had some shit like that.
I'll give you it's loaded now, but his playoff run,
No, it's been loaded.
for the most part, even when you
let me
say this, his playoff run, he was 1,200 yards. He was 70% completion percentage. He was 10 CDs and 3 picks. Even the following, even the 2 years after when they in 2023 when they went against Detroit, he was 70% for like 300 and another 3 touchdowns. It wasn't his fault they lost. They lost to Detroit 22-24. It wasn't his fault they lost.
Like Matthew Stafford, nobody said it wasn't. Nobody said it was his first loss. Is he a better performer than Josh Allen?
No. Yes, he is.
All I'm saying is I think there's no way you can easily say one is significantly better than
but Trent, you would prefer him. You would pick him, and that's fine. I understand. I just
don't know how. Like I don't.
I think it's
because to be fair, his numbers post Walker are pretty bad. Like over the course of his
they're
career.
Still good, but they're not great. They're not elite from that perspective.
I don't know.
I think it's two different ways to look at it, in my personal opinion. Like if you're telling me it's a playoff game, you can pick these quarterbacks. You don't know anything else about the rest of the team. I'm still picking Josh, Lamar, and probably Joe Burrow over Matthew Stafford. That being said, there is something to be said when you say, hey, what have these guys done and have they proven it before? And Matthew Stafford, of that 4 that I just named, is the only one that can say that he's done it before. And some people do value that.
Joe Burrow over Matthew Stafford.
Please just finish my statement. And the only thing that I want to say is this. I think that some people do a little bit of retroactive rewriting because while it was still really good offensive surroundings, it wasn't as elite as we talk about maybe today in 20.
Exactly, bro. They had to pick up Odell.
Are we talking about the Rams team?
Yeah, and blow the dust off him, and he was playing elite because of Matthew Stafford.
No. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this.
If I could just,
but he's right though. He's right though.
I think
he's not right.
Yes, he is.
How is he right?
He's about to explain.
Go ahead. I'm actually going to get.
I think Odell came in as a very good wide receiver. I think the offensive line was largely fine at that point. Their running game was based off the scheme, not necessarily excessive talent. And of course, Cooper Kupp did have a career year that year. So I don't think that it is as excellent as we're talking about it is. Oh yeah, I mean like an all-time.
It's more than a career year.
But I think it's a little bit The defense was.
But that's Matthew Stafford. He does that to
That's
everybody.
not Matthew. Stop.
Oh,
Matthew
that.
Stafford,
No,
I can
that.
name so many guys
that.
that Matthew Stafford gave a career year to.
No,
Golden
no.
Tate, Marvin Jones, he does that.
Niggas talking
He
about
is
Marvin
known
Jones.
for giving niggas
my
career
bad.
years.
Marvin Jones had fucking 50 more yards than we did in Cincinnati. I don't give a fuck.
I think
it was just
career year.
Trent, my only point was I think that it was a very good. I just don't think it was an elite level offensive surrounding in 2021, and I think a lot of that's been rewritten.
Bro. I just think that when we talk about the player performance,
Niggas the king of making niggas look good.
I just think that when we talk about the player performance shit, I just think that also too team matters in this shit too. Because like I said, outside niggas in the top 4, let's say yeah, that's it. Because Josh Allen did give Stephon Diggs career years, but literally outside the big 4, Josh and Lamar have had the worst help out of the big 4, and I just feel like we can't just underestimate that. Wow,
and you just lied.
Because I'm not going to make it a Lamar thing. I'm really not. But I promise to God on everything I love, if you flip Josh Allen's playoff resume and you put it with Lamar's, we will be saying the same shit about Lamar Jackson I'm saying with Josh Allen.
And you just lied. Marvin Jones' best season is now 800 yards, Trent. He was an 1,100-yard receiver with 9 TDs, bro. And his highest yard per catch in his history. I made you a 300-yard better receiver.
Early, it was 150.
He was 816 in Cincinnati, 1,100 yards in Detroit.
Early, it was 115 more yards or some shit.
No, it was 816. His best season in Cincinnati, 816. His best season in Detroit, 1,100 yards.
So he went from Andy Dalton to Matthew Stafford.
And if you if you good, you good.
I went from a Ray Wilson quarterback to Matthew Stafford.
Green had no issue.
AJ Green had no issue.
He was the red rifle when he had. You talking about the red rifle?
Just did this.
Like I would hope so. Like okay, like you're talking about 200 more. No, this is what I'm saying, no Swiper. You're talking about 200 more yards when you're going from Andy Dalton to Matthew Stafford, gang. Like that's not that much of a difference. It's not.
It ain't just, it's 300 more yards and it's 6 more TDs, my nigga. The nigga couldn't get more than 4 TDs in Cincinnati.
Marvin Jones was still good in Cincinnati.
6 TDs is crazy, man.
I give you 10 TDs, 1,100 yards. Your best season was 800 yards. And hold up, this is the funny part, y'all. This is the craziest part. Listen, this is the craziest part. This is the craziest part. This is gonna fuck you up. When he played for Cincinnati, right? He went 65 catches, 816 yards, 4 TDs. The nigga went 61 catches in Detroit and still had 1,100 yards and 10 TDs.
That's nice.
Nigga, less catches, 300 more yards.
I will say this.
That
ain't
this is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying though. Hold on.
This is what I'm saying though.
The year before, literally the year before, the nigga was 930 and 4 TDs, and then in 2016, and then he had an increase in a bump. Okay, cool. He
played for Detroit when he had 930. By the way,
I was gonna say this though.
Trying to be nasty. He played for Detroit when he had 930.
I know that early.
So we're talking about Cincinnati now.
I know that early. I know that. I know he played for Detroit. Did he not? I know that. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Nobody saying.
I think the issue. I think the conversation of Matthew Stafford is a lot more interesting than we're really able to believe because he spent the lump sum of his career in a dysfunctional organization in Detroit. I think what we're seeing from Matthew Stafford now in his older age is who he's always probably been. He's always been a quarterback that can light it up. He's always had that arm. He's always had the pocket presence. I think people forget this was a number 1 overall pick, by the way. This wasn't a guy who was just supposed to be some Joe Schmo. The reason why he's doing what he's doing right now is this was his expectations of Matthew Stafford. It's just some of it, a little bit of loyalty, a little bit of a bag. Yes. You get a little bit of loyalty, you get some money. Let's be honest. Stafford probably wanted to win in Detroit. He wanted to bring something home there for sure.
I just don't think they can gas it though, just because he's on.
It was a dysfunctional.
I would not. I swear to God.
J-Rock cooking. Hold on. Let J-Rock get through cooking. Because look,
my point about Stafford now is what we're seeing from him. Like he won an MVP, bro. At what 38?
Yeah, 37.
37. Like you have to understand that I'm not surprised with any of it. I don't even think when Matthew Stafford was traded for Jared Goff head to head, I don't think anybody else thought it was not obvious that Stafford was obviously better. I think everybody's always known that Stafford was a dog, but when you play for the Los Angeles Clippers, it is what it is.
He was always cooking. Bro, they do this narrative, J-Rob, where they act like, again, if you didn't watch me, but they act like he was just Calvin Johnson merchant. Again, I wouldn't say that, but literally, Matthew Stafford, literally, every time, bro, he's done it so many times. Again, nigga, Golden Tate was an 800-yard receiver. You get to your first year, Matthew Stafford, you 1,300 yards? You 1,300 yards?
That's right.
He's elevating receivers, bro.
We're talking about expectations, right, J-Rob? Golden Tate is a former Biletnikoff winner. When you're going from a run-heavy offense with Marshawn Lynch, your lead back, to an air raid offense with Matthew Stafford, and you're a good receiver, obviously your production is going to go up if you're good. That's a sky is blue shit. I don't think that should be gas because Golden Tate.
You were the number one on the Seattle Seahawks too.
I think the Golden Tate conversation. I will say this though, no disrespect early, but I think the Golden Tate conversation, I think it does no justice to this discussion. I don't even think.
But you can't, J-Rob, I don't care for how good you think Golden Tate is. If a nigga can get 500 more yards somewhere, bro, and you something we just said, we literally have said before.
Offense, bro.
Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, but we do believe that Drake May can make AJ Brown a little bit better because of the throws he can make.
It's a scheme of offense, bro. I'm put it like this. Zay Flowers right now, we say all the shit we talk about with Zay Flowers, how the fuck you want to feel about it. Zay Flowers right now is a 1,200-yard receiver right now. He's had 1,200 yards, literally, and a run-heavy offense with Lamar in it. If you put him in a scheme to where they're passing way more, we can probably see, hypothetically, a 1,300-yard season from Zay Flowers, which is sky is blue. You can say but that's it. Nope. That's a possibility, though.
But there are advantages that Zay Flowers is operating off of because of the run game advantage.
You can say that. You can say that due to D-Mac. But I can also say that Zay Flowers is a good receiver and he can separate at a high level to where you put him in a pass, more of a pass up the offense to where he's getting the ball more targets. He can definitely get a 1,100-1,400 yard season.
Okay, but again, Matthew Stafford is giving niggas 300 to 500 more yards.
Okay,
but that was being 1,700 yard receiver.
Golden Tate first. It would be different if Golden Tate.
500 yards.
It would be different if Golden Tate played with Russell Wilson after the Marshawn Lynch era when he really became Russell Wilson. When he was really airing that bitch out. Wilson Golden Tate would have easily had a 1,300 yard season with 2018 Russell Wilson. But he wasn't in that type
I ain't talking about 100 more yards. I'm talking about
I said the same thing. Hold on, Bama. The same thing that you just talked about when how he had a 500-yard increase when he went to Matthew Stafford when they went to play in the area offense. If Golden Tate played with Russell Wilson in the 2018 era when he was really that nigga and he wasn't in a Marshawn Lynch shit when it wasn't run heavy, he would have the same production. It's not a Matthew Stafford thing. If Matthew Stafford's cold, I'm not saying he's not. But you try to make it seem like all these niggas are having these increase just because of Matthew Stafford, and it's not.
What I'm saying is that Matthew Stafford, if you're good, he can make you great. That's easy, bro.
He's a great quarterback. That's what great quarterbacks do.
Honestly, I don't want to get lost.
So if he's a great quarterback, why are we comparing him to fucking Josh Allen in the playoffs?
What the fuck? Josh Allen's elite. What are you talking about?
Josh Allen is not elite. You can't be elite in one round.
Allen is an elite quarterback.
You can't be elite in one round for the most part. Compared to a nigga who made it to the Super Bowl. Bro, again, we do it, and we've been doing this. When you're comparing him to niggas like Lamar Jackson, understandable because Lamar hasn't done it yet. Even if you want to say Joe Burrow, you're comparing to a nigga who's not only done it, but done it at a high level. It wasn't like he had a Mickey Super Bowl run like Joe Burrow did. The nigga Matthew Stafford had a 1,200 yards, 70% completion percentage, 10 TDs, 3 picks, bro. That's a great fucking run.
Anybody in this room can say that but you because you shit on Jalen Hurts all the fucking time and he performed the best at the Super Bowl. Anybody can say that but you.
I said all the way to the Super Bowl, including the Super Bowl, bro. Matthew Stafford had a great game every game.
Same things that Jalen Hurts.
What
the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I don't know why you
can't. No, not that.
By yourself. I'm talking about the entire playoff run, nigga.
Okay,
there was no stinkers by Matthew Stafford on the way to Super Bowl. There wasn't one stinker.
I wish for the sake of that narrative, Puka Nacua didn't break up that damn flop. Remember, Matthew Stafford threw a layup.
Matthew Stafford balled last year against the Panthers.
He threw a layup to the Panthers, and Puka broke it up. I wish he never broke it up. because this would have been done.
I said this nigga PR just shot up because you want to MVP. Niggas lying
in the red zone. Through a duck. You should have been picked off.
I want to quickly level set because I think that we got sidetracked on the conversation. I think that it's a combination of both. Sometimes you go to a better scheme that's better suited for you to have better production, and also Matthew Stafford's upgrade over Andy Dalton. I think we got lost.
Two things could be true.
I think, this is the thing for me when you're talking about the playoff performances of these guys. Again, it's the two things. Do I think that Matthew Stafford is just a head and shoulders significantly better playoff performer than the rest of these guys? I'm not sure about that. However, if you want to say that he's stamped because he did it before, I also understand that standpoint. For me personally, I'm still taking who I think is a better quarterback, which is the other guys. But Matthew Stafford is the guy that you go into the playoffs, you're like, hey, I think I got one of these guys that is going to be able to perform at a high level. That's the expectations, and you feel good about rolling into it. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters.
Got Sean McVay too.
I think I forgot a name. Though.
I got a Sean McVay too, by the way.
Like I don't know why y'all didn't say Jalen Hurts those names though.
Hey, the way how
I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can't tell me that.
I think he's in the combo. Yeah, he's in the combo.
Jalen Hurts is a bad playoff performer.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got two.
My main
He's
push
got two good.
I don't like that. Matthew Stafford is like, because I know I'm talking about PR and I'm defending Josh Allen. The nigga PR done shot up because he's having this top season. Like niggas act like the Bears game and the Panthers game, he was just good. When in reality, he wasn't.
He wasn't great
at all. But we got early gassing this shit up. Like this nigga some
his Super Bowl run, he had a great game every game. He had good games every game, by the way.
Rob, real quick. Remember, we were criticizing the Panthers that whole last drive. Remember, Trent? Because they were playing off coverage the whole last drive. It made no sense. So they should have lost that game. It should have been over.
I remember that.
Well, go ahead, J-Rob.
No, I was just going to say because Trent had mentioned like the PR. I don't even think that his PR shot up like, he's overly defended. I almost think like the media looks at Matthew Stafford like almost as if like somebody who has done a wrong and is finally getting the light that he always deserves.
Yeah. You niggas are like success stories. You want a nigga to start forever. Y'all some selfish ass niggas, man. Fucking disgusting ass niggas.
I don't know what.
Do y'all know what Detroit was over there?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Niggas who finally got
what you just said, I agree. No, I say he got done wrong in the media. Look, he got done wrong in the media. He got done wrong in general in Detroit. He's on a better team.
And in the media.
Nobody's defending that. I just think that just because you got done wrong does not mean when you're getting your flowers, you got to fucking drag it and boost it. Because here's the perfect example. On everything I love. Nobody, like I say, especially early, Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl in 2021. That was what? 5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago. Yes.
When we've been talking about the best playoff quarterbacks for hella long, nobody mentioned Matthew Stafford. Even when he won the Super Bowl, nobody, even in nobody on God's green earth ever brought up Matthew Stafford. It was Patrick Mahomes, niggas brought up Josh Allen, and then now I bring up Josh Allen after his recent bias. He has one of his worst playoff games ever, if not the worst. Oh, he's got a better playoff form than Matthew Stafford. How? When Josh Allen's been doing it for a year in, day out, and nobody brought up Matthew Stafford in 2021. But all of a sudden,
okay for me to say,
he has one good game versus Seattle, plays like shit versus the Bears and the Panthers. Oh, 2021, he won.
And you know what's so crazy though? Y'all dragged me into a duel.
And then my final point is, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, shitty.
Yo, and I ain't gonna lie, Trent, because you know who lives off that type of merit that you just said? Joe Burrow.
Yes, and Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow has the most.
But I will say this though, and I think again we got off track. I will say even if you want to play about Matthew Stafford's play, what I would say is this: if you're telling me that a nigga has to have a great performance at a quarterback, what I'm saying is I will take Matthew Stafford with not only his receiving core but also Sean McVay, and I will say I will take that over a lot of niggas that y'all love in their situation. So if you want to just say if you want to pick it at Matthew Stafford himself, whatever. But if we're talking about Matthew Stafford with his receiving core and Sean McVay, I will gladly take that over a lot of niggas, especially when we talk about the spots that will solidify on defense. I would gladly take that.
It's so funny you shit on Jalen Hurts' situation.
D-Mac had brought up like if you had to pick a quarterback with you don't know what type of team you're gonna have, you're just picking the quarterbacks. No disrespect to Matthew Stafford at all. I think he had a great run. I loved his resurgence and all that, but I mean, he wouldn't be one of the first 5 guys I'd pick if I don't know what the roster looks like. Because no disrespect to Matthew Stafford, because I do think he has elite ability. So I don't think the numbers he puts up is crazy or anomalies but I don't feel like he would be able to do what a Lamar, a Josh, Pat Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, if you threw them into just a team, you don't know what you're going to get out of it. Because I do think, because of his age and a lot of things like that, Matthew Stafford, to get the most out of him, I do think he requires a lot more structure than the rest of those.
And you know what's so crazy? Oh, you know what's so crazy? I can agree on this, and I'm done talking. I can agree on the fact that he wouldn't be a top 5 guy. If you could put him on any great team, he wouldn't be a top 5 guy in the league. I can even agree with that. But my problem is that there are guys who I can say, and Matt Stafford, one of the few guys I can say that, damn, man, when he's playing in Detroit, I watched him say, man, damn, I wish he had a legit team. And when he got a legit team, he won a Super Bowl. But you can also say, if he doesn't have everything, he can still be very productive, a 5,000-yard type of guy. There are some niggas that we don't know about. Like Jalen Hurts is a nigga that we don't know. If you're playing for the fucking 2009 Detroit Lions, you can be productive. Like you've always had it great to be successful. So again, Matthew Stafford, one of the few niggas I can say can have nothing.
What years was Matthew Stafford?
I can say Pat can have it all and also have nothing and still win.
What years were Matthew Stafford crazy production, looking great in Detroit without demon weapons? Let me know.
What you mean demon weapons? What you mean
Calvin fucking Johnson?
What you mean demon weapons? Okay, cool. So even when Calvin Johnson left, right? Okay, what year did Calvin Johnson leave? 2015.
He was done in 15. The next year he was 24-10. Next year is 29-10, which is a decent year. 2017. Then 2018, 20 and 11. Okay, cool. 2019, I think he got hurt, so I'm not gonna count that. The next year, 26-10 and 4,000. These are not demon numbers.
So his last year was 15, right?
These are not demon numbers.
These are not demon. These are solid. These are good. I
didn't even say demon numbers. We can play it back. I didn't say demon numbers, but nigga, if you're going 29 and 10, 29 and 29 and 10.
I just said that.
Because 29 and 10. You said it first.
Yeah.
4,500 yards, 65 percentage. That's a good quarterback, bro.
Okay, but it's not the Matthew Stafford that we're talking about. It's a solid year.
Honestly, 2019 he was on a pace too, but obviously he got hurt, so it was only half.
Yeah, I say 2019.
Y'all not telling the whole truth though. This is why I'm just like gotta come in and interrupt, bro. The whole truth was he had Jim Caldwell, which was a quarterback whisperer. They went 11-5 in 2014. That's when Dallas called that bullshit ass pass interference call.
Yeah,
they magically get rid of Jim Caldwell. They magically get rid of him, which shows a dysfunction of the franchise, bro. First off, you got your coach that's obviously in synergy with your quarterback, and then all of a sudden y'all get hold in the playoffs, which they probably could have made a Super Bowl run with Calvin Johnson, Eric Ebron, and them Joyce Bell. That was actually a solid team. That PI call was some bullshit. For them to get rid of Jim Caldwell after that bullshit PI call, bro, that just shows the dysfunction of the franchise, which he was playing very well up under Jim Caldwell. So if he would have had Jim Caldwell as coach, you could argue that he would have kept getting better and better and better.
Well, he wasn't playing.
That's the only way. That may be the case, but that isn't what happened. So we have
that isn't what happened.
Because the franchise is dysfunctional.
That's true. But this is the thing.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
go ahead. I think that the thing is, when he was in Detroit, everybody recognized the talent that he had, and we could maybe point at saying, hey, maybe if he had a little bit of this more, a little bit of that more, this could be a guy that could be French top 5. But he was really solidly, hey, this is a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. That's just where he was at. And then we saw him in a better aspect of that. And I think that now you see, hey, he's got the talent. He's older, as far as that's concerned. We surrounded him with these great weapons. And now you've seen that this is the guy that can be the French top 5 guy we thought his talent could have been. And he was able to win the Super Bowl. And I think in the conversation of the playoff aspect of it, this is also kind of going back to things that we've talked about in weeks past. Like all of these guys, and I'm talking about the top guys, because Jay, I know you mentioned Jalen Hurts, who has had the 2 really good Super Bowl performances as far as that's concerned. He's just not on the level that he's getting discussed with the rest of these guys. It's just me. But when you talk about the rest of these guys, I could point to good games, obviously from Josh Allen. I could put good games from Lamar Jackson. He carried the shit out of him in that Tennessee Titans game. I could point to good games from Joe Burrow, and I could put the bad games for all these guys, and that's including Matthew Stafford just thrown in that mix as well. The big thing for me is when you talk about stamping the guy as a playoff performer, I need to see consistent championship game or Super Bowl performances in addition to obviously having the talent for me to say, yeah, you're just stamped where you're a guy that's going to be.
But what y'all doing though, D-Mac? If he has a run this year and they win the Super Bowl, you're going to just say his team was great. So he'll have 2 Super Bowls, 2 good runs, and you just say he had a great team.
You should say that. You're the main nigga who do it.
I'm fine with giving him.
Bro, stop comparing Jalen Hurts to Matthew Stafford, please.
You're the man.
What are we doing?
Okay, no bullshit.
There's nobody to do that for. There's nobody else I do that for.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Nobody else.
You are the main person. Hold on, Jero, I'm about to defend you. It's about to.
I gotta go. No, go ahead. I gotta get off though. I gotta work soon. So just go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, you are the main person who always talk about. Oh, I will hope you will win games. You got this loaded ass team. I would fucking hope the Rams make the Super Bowl with this fucking roster. I would fucking hope. You have everything you want to make a Super Bowl. Everything. There is nothing. You have a top 3. You have a top 2.
They
you have a top
drafted a second round tight end.
You have a good run game. You got a top 3 wide receiver doing the game. You got Myles Garrett, Chip McDuffie. All these. I would fucking hope.
So Matthew Stafford is a 2-time MVP. If he's a 2-time MVP and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, is something going against his legacy? I'm just want to ask.
No, I didn't say it. I'm just saying the way how you talk about super teams and talk about how Jalen Hurts. I would hope.
I was about to say. Yeah, I'm about to slide. So I gotta cover a baseball game. But two things I want to say. One, D-Mac, I think you bringing up Joe Burrow in the playoffs. I think the Joe Burrow conversation is just disingenuous about that playoff run. Because
I'm not talking about the playoff when I say he's at.
No, wait, I want to wait.
One in Buffalo that he.
Okay, but I want to hear what J-Rob has to say about that. Go ahead.
I think because a lot of that playoff run is used to elevate Joe Burrow to the masses.
Yep.
And a lot of that comes to the expense of the Cincinnati Bengals defense during that run.
And Lou Almirono specifically.
But this is where I know people don't really watch football or don't comprehend what they're watching in football. Like when they played the the Tennessee Titans,
yep.
Did anybody forget that that defense stuffed Derrick Henry on the 1 twice? Does anybody remember Does anybody remember Ryan Tannehill playing like a Looney Tune in that game? Does anybody remember the interceptions? I think when we look back at that playoff run, kudos to Joe Burrow. Awesome.
It was 9 times. Do we remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
too.
I also remember Ryan Tannehill throwing 4 dots.
But I also remember
that
defense also giving Joe Burrow other opportunities to win these football games. And I think that is lost in that conversation. Everybody paints the narrative as if Joe Burrow dragged that team to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think the way that Cincinnati, I think people neglect the fact that defense got hotter during that season as that year came to an end, and you saw that transpire in the playoffs. But nobody is willing to look at that. That's my only point about the Joe Burrow thing, because I think he gets this idea of him the idea of him in the playoffs is greater than the actual reality. And then when I come to, and then the Early's point, I'm gonna be honest with you, you gotta look in the mirror with some of these takes because you're disingenuous about this whole, like, you gotta pick a side with this thing. Either you don't like when quarterbacks have the full scope of resources and perform behind it, or you don't. You either do or you don't, because the way you talk about Matthew Stafford, the way you've talked about Brock Purdy, but the way you come at like a Jalen Hurts, it's a hypocritical stance to take.
No, it's not.
It is 100%. It is 100% a hypocritical take because yes, it is, because regardless of how Matthew Stafford performs around those resources, if he has a good or a bad game, you'll stand beside him.
Is that true?
But if Jalen Hurts has a good game, well, look at his team. If he has a bad game, he has all these things he can't win with. That's not fair. I've watched you talk about Brock Purdy, who has had a very similar situation to Jalen Hurts. But because you are so infatuated with him being the last Mr. Irrelevant, you love the fact that he was Mr. Irrelevant. You don't talk about the resources that he's had around him in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have it both ways, bro. Because look, bro, when you have these conversations, you look like when you have these conversations and we talk about this specific topic about quarterbacking, you look more like Samuel L. Jackson and Django because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it's inconsistent that you're able to be, I guess, you're able to have, unbiased when it comes to these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to Jalen Hurts, who has the exact same situation, you're not able to have some level of objectivity. It just doesn't make sense early. You can't have it both ways, gang.
I guess
my good fight the power brother.
This could also be too early. You did concede that your cousins and your aunties think Jalen Hurts is handsome and you're tired of hearing about it. So that also could be the reason. You did concede that on this platform. So that also could be it too, bro. I don't know. You did say you didn't like how handsome he was because of how the women in your family look at him. So that also could be it too. He might just the diamonds is too much for you. I get it. But
I think it's a totality though. Like, here's my thing. I would give Jalen Hurts the love if with the talent around you was producing at a very elite rate. So again, it's totality for me for real. It ain't a game by game situation. When you give Matthew Stafford an elite team, he go 46 and 6. When you give Brock Purdy a good team, he go 32-9. He's a top 3 in the MVP. If Jalen Hurts, you give Jalen Hurts a elite team, he go 18-5.
Jalen Hurts,
he should have won MVP in 22.
Jalen Hurts accounted for.
He
accounted for 32 touchdowns.
He was a great year.
He should not have won MVP.
He was going to win MVP if he didn't get
it. He had a great season.
Yeah, he was going to win that, but he should not have won.
Touchdowns? But the thing is, you're looking at just his passing.
If Jalen Hurts produces at a high level with high talent, I promise you, I swear to God, bro, I promise y'all, I would shut the fuck up.
22.
If Jalen Hurts gave me, in any point in time when he had that elite team, for instance, even the year they had Saquon, the very first year, Jalen Hurts goes fucking 32-8. My nigga, that nigga cooked that year.
Throw the ball. How would he do that?
Eggs, and that's my point exactly, is that when you put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands at a high rate, the way you had to do these other guys, his production isn't the same. So if that makes me fucking Samuel Jackson, then who is this nigga on this neck?
But what I'm asking you is like, you don't really know Jalen Hurts' production because you only look at his touchdowns to interceptions, bro.
I watch his games too. You don't bring up his bad games neither, do you?
I never said Jalen Hurts. It's not. My point is, you bring up his bad games to say that he's bad, period. And you talk about him being bad through it, despite him having a multitude of resources on his team. But you also booty shake for Brock Purdy and you booty shake for Matthew Stafford, who, if they have a bad game, you start twerking for him as if.
Yeah,
but do you think between those?
Oh my God!
Window for them, you can't.
Between them three, though, who you think has more like who has more ratio for error in the sense of like this, right? And if you bring up just them three guys, out of them three guys in their career so far, or let's say the last 3 to 4 years, how many times has Jalen Hurts had a stinker, but they still won because how great they were, versus them niggas that they have a stinker, they can still lose? That's how great the team has been.
So Matthew Stafford and the Rams have never had a stinker, and they won.
They have. I just said which one had the most. Which one of them had the most?
Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something about early. This is. I want y'all to know, y'all chat guys like early. Y'all gotta be clear of when y'all talking about sports. You feel me? Because early is the type of guy that don't always watch the game and will look at a box score and try to tell you that was the story of the game.
TikTok highlight
Brock Purdy can go into a game. Brock Purdy can go into a game and hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey 20 times, throw for 120 yards, have one touchdown.
Not last year.
Not last year. And early will tell you. Oh, he played great. It was awesome.
Not true.
Yes,
not true.
I've been on this platform with you for years, brother. I'm not making this shit up. We've been doing this for 3-4 years.
Can I ask a question real quick, Jay, before you go? Do you think that Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, and Matthew Stafford are a similar level of quarterback?
I think Matthew Stafford's better than Jalen Hurts. I think Brock Purdy I think of the three, Brock Purdy is the worst of the three. I think Jalen Hurts is better.
Oh my, that is no. I think Brock Purdy's way better than Jalen Hurts. Way better than Jalen Hurts.
This is the point.
If you feel that he is what you say he is, he's way better. He would have produced better in those playoffs, like I say. If he had the same structure, because y'all tell me he has the same structure as Jalen Hurts.
I did.
I can argue though. Again, we talk about watching games. I can argue there were games on Brock Purdy run with him turning it up. Is the reason why they won. I can argue that.
Same exact structure. Purdy has not.
You can literally argue
but Purdy hasn't had nearly as many offensive line talent. I don't think he's had the wide receiver talent. He's had better mismatches.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Look at J-Rob. J-Rob disagree with you though, D-Man.
I mean, what are you talking about?
That would be the major difference.
This is the point though. It's not about this. It's not because we all know Matthew Stafford is better than Jalen Hurts. Like, disguise me. Like,
that's fine. Yeah, I'm cool.
The point is that all three of these niggas have had loaded ass teams. That's the point of the conversation. You come, hold on. You can stop. The 2023 49ers are fucking loaded. Anyways,
yeah, they were disgusting.
The point is,
they wasn't better than 20.
That's not the point.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that.
The point is, bro. The point is, you want to say because what's the name? The better passing Jalen Hurts, cool. Like they produce more in their loaded situation. Okay, fine. The problem is that you shit on Jalen Hurts, like Odie. So you even talk about playoffs, and literally he's played like a Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl when it's the most important game, and that doesn't get acknowledged. You shit on him all the time, but for Matthew Stafford, all of a sudden, like Houdini, like a magic trick. Oh my God, he's such an elite playoff performer. When did this happen? Did I watch? Did we all watch the Bears game last year? Did we all watch the Panthers game last year? Like. Am I confused? But
this is my issue with early. Is like, bro, he has blinders to that. That has never existed. Same way. Listen, early and no disrespect, Kenny, you too now. I mean, I'm on you too.
Me and early have been in agreement with this for like 2 straight seasons. I don't want to think we all see.
I'm on you about this Purdy thing a little bit because just first of all, early made a mention about. The best version of Jalen Hurts, he give you 18 and 5. Give you 18 and 5.
Like that's not even true.
Okay, and Brock Purdy give you 20 and 10, 20 and 19. Like, what are we talking about? If you look at their numbers, like, bro,
that's excluding the rushing part. Is disgusting,
bro. Brock Purdy, and Jalen Hurts are so comparable, but the conversations, and this is why I feel like y'all don't be trying to be honest about how narrative and media influence y'all in sport. It influences you guys in sport, and y'all never willing to admit it. Do you know why y'all love Brock Purdy and y'all don't think Jalen Hurts is as good as he was? Because y'all saw him get benched for Tua Tagovailoa, and that memory is etched in a lot of y'all brain for life.
That's not me.
That's not even a thing. I'm not even worried about
I don't care about that. We know what's cool now.
It's one of my last episode.
Because when y'all talk about him as a quarterback, y'all still talk about the same things that travel with him in college. When y'all look at Brock Purdy, y'all see this ultimate underdog story of the last guy picked in the NFL draft turned franchise quarterback. It's a great story, but in reality, when you look at the two players, not only are their teams have been comparable, you look at their numbers have been comparable. Like y'all telling me Jalen Hurts is whack. The man accounts for 33 touchdowns in the season. He's not a producer.
Some of that is.
That is so nasty. That is so nasty, bro.
Yeah, but
like fucking nasty with that touch shit, bro. That's so nasty,
bro. Again, y'all act like y'all don't know how football works. It's a copycat league. Y'all keep talking about this fucking tush push. Everybody in football can do the tush push. It is not only heralded to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Everybody quarterback sneaks on the goal
when
line.
one nigga,
Everybody
the difference is when one nigga gives you 15 touchdowns and 12 or 13 of them are tush pushes versus a nigga giving you 15 touchdowns and maybe 8 of them are 9 of them. Come on, bro.
About it.
Nobody would talk about it. And personally,
Oh my God.
I think Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback. That's just me, how I see him.
Is he top 10?
I don't think
Josh Allen does the tush push. Nobody cares about his
He doesn't do it as much as that.
Can I please talk? Please.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, man. I've actually gotten in trouble over the last. I wouldn't say trouble. People are trying to be on my ass the last few days on Twitter because I've pointed out the point of when you're talking about the value that the quarterback brings to the position, the rushing aspect definitely has to it. But you can't just regurgitate the touchdown, numbers for Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen because you have to adjust for the tush push. Mm-hmm. Those rushing touchdowns that these guys are getting on the tush push compared to rushing touchdowns that guys are getting from 5 yards out when they have to create themselves, those are different levels of value, and that does have to come into play. And I think it's fair that rather than just saying flat out, "Hey, he has X number of touchdowns, that's his value." I think that there is more nuance to that conversation. That being said, I agree with both of you guys from this standpoint. Matthew Stafford should not be stamped as an elite playoff performer. I just don't see that track record from him. He's had good games. He's had bad games. We've seen them as far as even as most recently as last season, as far as that's concerned. So I overall, as far as that conversation, I 100% agree with you guys. And Jalen Hurts is somebody that has put out great Super Bowl performances as far as that aspect too. So we should get credit for that. But we've also seen bad playoff performances from Jalen Hurts. So I'm not even at the point where I say Jalen Hurts is stamped as a playoff performer.
My point is,
I've seen the ups and downs of that too.
Let me just ask y'all this though. My issue is when Jalen Hurts does perform or plays to a standard that is deemed reasonable for Kenya, the earlies of the world, they don't give him his credit. They don't.
He doesn't though. When will he do it?
Yeah, I don't.
If he do, I swear to God, shut the fuck up.
It's one right here. Got him right.
Exactly. I do give him credit for a Super Bowl performance.
Got him right. Doesn't give him no credit for when he plays well.
It's everything else. I don't give him credit for.
Yeah, I swear to God, bro. If Jalen Hurts give me a good fucking season through and through, and it ain't like, even this next year, if he give me a good season, I shut the fuck up.
This is the problem.
The light skin nigga. I swear to God,
issue. This is my early point. Gerald, this is why I say this is the problem that I have.
Baseball game on right now.
Gerald, this is why I say this is the problem I have. Before this MVP season, these last couple of years of staff have been regional. It's fine.
Thank you.
Regional is fine.
He been So context. Hey, D-Mac has his receivers. How many games, bro? Hey, bro.
Yo, bro, are you okay?
Puka was hurt. But Puka,
are you okay?
He has Sean McVay. He has Sean. Before all of that, before he has Sean McVay. Before any of that, forget the receivers. He has Sean McVay. Maybe the best offensive mind in football.
So this is why when early.
You also had Aaron Donald, by the way.
Oh,
Aaron Donald, by the way.
He's talking about fifth round Puka like a draft pick.
This is why when early.
Von Miller on the team, by the way. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey.
But we're talking about the offense.
Loaded team.
Go ahead, D-Man. What you about to say? This is why we're early what?
When early initially asked the question, I'm saying like, hey, this is why Stafford is behind those other guys to me, because I do think that there is more about his circumstances that are a little bit more directed from that aspect. That is, you have to acknowledge that as a difference a little bit from where he's at in his career compared to the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons of the world, because there is a real difference of, hey, the circumstances really can change how much volatility comes with his performance from that standpoint.
Yeah, but at the same time, the reason why this conversation, I don't know why we're doing the Stafford thing, to be honest, when it comes to Hurts, other than the thing that makes sense to me is not respecting the quarterback having great playoff performances with his teams. And that's just objectively true with Jalen Hurts and what he's
you got to give it to Jalen when he had.
And especially if we're having a conversation of like really good teams, like 21 Rams, 22 Eagles, 23 49ers, they're all comparable. I'm not going to lie. They're all comparable teams. And Jalen Hurts.
You said the 24 Rams are comparable to anything else?
What?
Let's go off Super Bowl making
we're talking
seasons.
about their ability to play at a high level. So you bringing up the 24 Eagles is irrelevant to the 22 Eagles, because the 22 Eagles is when Jalen Hurts played his best in the playoffs. And he went absolutely nuts in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And let's be very clear. Out of all the quarterbacks who played the best in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts played better than Purdy and Stafford in the Super Bowl. That's just true.
That is true.
Absolutely over Purdy. Yeah,
over Stafford too.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't crazy though, but
the other thing I wanted to mention, because I was going to mention this a few while ago. When I'm talking about Joe Burrow and his playoffs, I really am not talking about the Super Bowl run specifically, because everything that J. Brock said about, hey man, the defensive aspect of those games was massive for what they were able to do to set him up for success as well. And it's just more so I've seen Joe Burrow have really good games. That one when he walked into Buffalo, he put it on him. He put a belt to Buffalo in that game. Yeah, but we also see him have those bad games too, and it's Buffalo. And that's why I say, like, again, going back to what we talked about weeks prior, all of these guys, it's like, hey, you can go try and prove yourself if you were able to do so. But until you do, then it's like, hey, I can't stamp any of you guys in the playoffs, really.
To be fair, if we're talking about the word elite, based off how we're talking about playoff quarterbacks, there's only one quarterback that deserves a label.
The guy that's 17. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
The guy that
He's only had one bad half of the game.
But we would always say,
wait, Simple, why you shake your head? No, wait,
no, because
I don't
think
agree.
Mahomes is like he has the benefit, which is the benefit of himself, like the benefit of he has been able to put together the most consistent and best playoff performances of this era. I just think everything with these other quarterbacks is so situational. Like, to be fair, like Lamar, I think has had some really good playoff games, but guess what? He lost those games. I think some of this is Josh Allen won some playoff games. He was very minute, including the Ravens game, and then he should have beat the Chiefs. And this is the funny thing about Josh Allen. He had an opportunity. He just threw.
That's why I don't like Josh Allen.
But Matthew Stafford also. This is so funny because we had a conversation prior to this, before this year. Last 4 games of the season had 1 touchdown, and then what happened? D-Mac showed up in the playoffs, got cooked, got packed up, but all of a sudden now he's top 5 again. It's crazy to me. But I'm telling you, just to finish this, by the way,
go ahead.
I'm not convinced that Dak Prescott isn't just outright better than Matthew Stafford. I love Dak though. I have a different opinion on Dak. I have a different opinion on Dak.
Swiper, we have a lot of disagreements, but I'm glad that we were on the same page. I love that. I was gonna bring it full circle and say this: if we go into a playoff matchup and it is Cowboys versus Rams, I'm not going to say that 110% Matthew Stafford is going to outplay Dak Prescott. I don't know that, because I've seen Dak have good games. I've seen Dak have bad games in playoffs, the same way I can say the same for Stafford. And at this point, I think that they are very there. And again, I think Stafford right now for me is in that 5th place as far as the quarterback rankings are concerned. But Dak is 6th. He right there with him. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because I think Dak gets underrated for how much he does from the mental aspect of the position.
Listen, who got outplayed by who?
D-Mac, I really appreciate
Matthew Stafford got outplayed by a bottom 10 quarterback this year in the playoffs.
He did.
I really appreciate D-Mac and Swiper.
Yeah, because Bryce Young did outplay him, man.
Because Dak Prescott,
I don't know how this is used to.
That list came out that Dak Prescott wasn't on, and I thought that was just an absolute travesty that he didn't make that.
Caleb Williams over Dak Prescott.
And I just think like Dak Prescott is better than Justin Herbert.
I agree.
I think all the way around.
Number 6, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Well, you said Justin Herbert. I don't care about Justin Herbert. Yeah,
I don't. But no, I'm talking about the list, bro. I think Trevor Lawrence made this list. Caleb Williams on this list.
He just missed it. Caleb made it.
Who else made it? It was Caleb, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love barely made it.
Another
guy who's a little. If we want to
Jared Goff made it. Jared Goff made the list.
Dak and Jordan are like.
I'm fine with Jared Goff making the list, but I feel like you can't make a top 10 without Dak. Like, I feel like regardless of I think Dak is an obvious top 10 quarterback.
Which list was this? Because Dak was 6 on the ESPN list.
The ESPN's one, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Dak was 6 on the ESPN one.
I think
Dak was 6.
ESPN.
Blake May was 8. Caleb Williams was 10. He should not have been on there. Jared Goff was 9.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is the top 10 quarterback.
Justin Herbert, I think, made the list, and he should not have made that list either.
I think a lot of people. It's actually interesting. I think a lot of people look at Dak Prescott and understand that, hey, he's a Cowboys quarterback. There are certain expectations that come with it. The fact that he hasn't had a championship game appearance to this point, that comes with its own, hey, then we're looking at you a certain way from that aspect, because he's been in the league so long. I think a lot of people then fail to recognize the evolution that he's had at playing the quarterback position, which continue to get better and better and better. And he has the talent to be able to do so, to where he is, in my opinion, a solidified top 10 quarterback. honestly kind of similar to how we've talked to a lot of people talked about Matthew Stafford prior to him going to LA, where it's like, hey, this is a guy that is a top 10 quarterback pretty solidly, and he's continued to get better. Now we're just looking for those elite circumstances, and I think that now we may be entering a period in which Dak Prescott
the only problem is that there is no version of Detroit Lion Matthew Stafford having the early Cowboy team that Dak had. That's the only problem. That's what I'm thinking about it. Like we remember. We remember
2012.
From a surrounding standpoint, of course, but I'm just talking about the individual evolution of the quarterback.
His growth as a quarterback.
But that's how most quarterbacks are. That's the thing, though. Y'all do this shit with Patrick Mahomes. Most quarterbacks in my lifetime used to be like they were kind of mid and they got great over time. Like most niggas got great when they was in their late 20s or early 30s. We just so used to CJ Stroud year or Jaden Daniels year or a fucking Patrick Mahomes just being great from the jump that we forget that niggas used to have to be some shit, go through trial tribulations, and then win later. That's what used to happen.
You know, that's a good point.
Josh Allen was a lemon for 2 years.
Yeah, like, it's that. Then he gets
we expect niggas to be good in 3 years. There were niggas who literally we had to wait 5, 6, 7 years for them to break through. We had to do that back in the day, and we was cool with that.
To be fair, early, I think that's a fair point. And you know, Dak Prescott is a steady quarterback. I feel like he's one of the even more so than Jared Goff right now. Definitely probably similar to Jared Goff like maybe 2 years ago, where you can probably guarantee he's gonna have a really good game, manage the offense, and do his thing. But I do think, based off what you were saying earlier, I am very hopeful on some of these young quarterbacks to reach a ceiling that Dak can't reach. I don't see it.
Yeah,
like Caleb Williams,
you look at the Drake
Justin Herbert, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, maybe a Jordan Love. Like when it comes down to it, being a very, very good quarterback, I think that's cool. But is this going to be enough to do what you got to be doing when it matters most?
But we have changed, we have changed the narrative so bad that a top 3 overall quarterback and a Sam Darnold, if you're not good, even if you're in a bad situation, if you ain't good for 3 years, you could be damn near out of it. It's almost like I compare it to, I talked about this about basketball. It used to be I was cool with my first overall pick doing 4 years of college. He wasn't an old ass nigga if he did 3 or 4 years of college. He didn't have to be 19 or 18, come out of the draft. Like, we've changed the narrative for certain shit, bro. It was cool to have Tim Duncan play 4 years and be my number 1 overall pick.
It's a
game changes.
Same way it was cool for a nigga to have to take 7 years to make a fucking Super Bowl.
I'll tell you why the game changes with the CBA changes.
That's nasty, though.
It's not nasty. It's just a new day of time.
When you take quarterbacks early in the old CBA, then they get a massive signing bonus. It's a different cap situation compared to the new CBA, where it's like, hey, that rookie quarterback, if you can have that guy come in on that contract and play very well, then that's a massive value advantage. So those things, that's just a natural evolution of what's.
But every GM though, D-Mac is like, I need a Patrick Mahomes. You got to be like, bro. Sometimes that's why you time to get good.
But that's why you take the Caleb Williams, the Drake Mays, the Trevor Lawrences, the Jaden Daniels, the guys that have exceptional talent, because you say, I need these guys to step in right now and be different.
But then what happens if Caleb Williams goes 7, 8 years before he actually reaches a deep playoff run? Do we say get him out of here?
Good.
That is not good.
You know how it happens, but that's
the same.
But there have been niggas who did that and became Hall of Famers.
But early,
not everybody
the conversation is not
nobody's saying
necessarily
he's throwing by the wayside, because you would say that
level.
about Justin Herbert then, because he hasn't won a playoff game. We're not saying throwing by the wayside. We recognize that that's a natural evolution of things. It's just also the aspect of it. If you can do it earlier than that, then that's a massive advantage, and that is why there's more pressure to have that happen.
I agree with D-Mac, and also early, you got to realize a lot of these owners and GMs are now thinking about things in terms of contracts. Do you want to shackle your team by giving them a crazy top of the league type contract? And right now, only 4 quarterbacks people are really, really confident with. And now we got to see with Caleb Williams, Jaden, Drake, are those going to be the next quarterbacks you're going to give huge salaries because they're good enough to not need a perfect team like the Seahawks to win a Super Bowl?
I think realistically, I really feel like this quarterback conversation that we're in as a whole, like I think we have created like a little bit of a slippery slope with these guys, and I'm a part of the issue too, because CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, a lot of guys, they come on the scene, they have great years, Drake May, but we've talked about this before, you know, because I get called like the certain guys I'm considered like a hater around, but I just think I'm just more real about them than people are willing to be. But like Drake May, for example, like everybody is gung ho, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in football. Like a lot of people believe he's going to be a one of one. I think it's more I think it's more likely next year he has a dip than it's likely for him to elevate again next year, because I think their schedule is going to be a lot harder. There's going to be a lot more tape on this kid. People are going to have adjustments. And look, they got AJ Brown, new weapons. I'm not saying I don't want to see Drake May succeed, but I think it's this idea that, like, I think a lot of these quarterbacks, it feels like sometimes we like the idea of what that quarterback is than what they actually are. And sometimes if the idea of you is better in most people's mind, then they're more likely to give you more grace, or your leash to be the franchise guy is longer. Like, for example, I'm only using Justin Herbert. I know I'll be on Justin Herbert. I'm the Justin Herbert hater, I guess, even though I'm not. Justin Herbert, for example, hasn't had a great offensive line, really. There was a point where he didn't have a great defense. But we would all argue probably the last 2 seasons, O-line hasn't been phenomenal. Hasn't really had great offensive line help. Kind of forced a bit of a regression. And I think with Jim Harbaugh, they kind of took the ball a bit out of his hands and wanted him to rely more on the run game. I think people are able to rationalize that because Justin Herbert is like the prototypical type of quarterback. 6'4", strong arm, mobile,
6'6",
has 6'6". Yeah, he's huge. 6'6". He has all those like prototypical tools that you look for, so his leash is longer. But over the last 2 years, Trevor Lawrence is the same way. Trevor Lawrence ain't really been that good.
Why he out the league?
But it's gotten a lot of the benefit of the doubt. Everybody's got a lot of the benefit of the doubt. C.J. Stroud. A lot of people have closed the book on C.J. Stroud.
Which they shouldn't have.
But and I'm not willing to disagree. C.J. Stroud definitely statistically has regressed. But I feel like when it comes to like Justin Herbert, I think we were all able to rationalize. Defense wasn't that great. Offensive line wasn't that great. Coaching wasn't that great. I think when you look at C.J. Stroud, nobody looked at no run game, no offensive line. All his receivers got hurt.
Nico Stroud in and out of line.
Nico Collins. But the thing is, this is also a kid who has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a kid who has more playoff wins than these guys, but his leash is closed. But we can all point at direct correlations to his regression. And so that's why when it comes to quarterbacks, it's just like, for me, I just think the conversations are so like weird because it's like, it is so obvious one guy fits an aesthetic. And so.
But that's how y'all feel about Bo Nix on this show, though. I mean, literally, though. Y'all do this.
Not that he.
But a lot of people do the same thing with him because he has to. I think for many people, he has to cross a certain threshold before people give him his flowers for what he's done. He's outplayed all these QBs when he's seen them head to head, except for Trevor Lawrence in that game. I think
he's a part of the conversation too. He outplayed Josh Allen head to head.
I don't think he's a part of that conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Trent is one of the ones that he's slower.
I don't think
he's slower on Bo. So I think.
Let me ask you this. Y'all gonna be pissed when I say this shit. All right, y'all think there's a gap between Bo Nix and like Brock Purdy?
No.
There's not a gap between Bo Nix and we talk about right now. Because we talk about what potential is. There's not a gap between Caleb Williams and Bo Nix neither.
I agree.
I agree with that too.
I disagree. I think Brock Purdy is better than Bo Nix, and I think Caleb Williams is significantly better than Bo Nix.
Well, talent for talent, there's a gap. But
significantly better than Bo Nix.
Caleb Williams,
but D-Mac, he can be better, but is there a gap?
That was bad in these playoffs. And
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, and this was so funny, right? I think we forget all of us have been fans of football for a long time.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all.
All of us, but here's my thing, D-Mac. All of us have been fans of football. Do we understand that some of our favorite quarterbacks, bro, were good quarterbacks, but never got anything? Niggas can have Donovan McNabb careers. Niggas can have Matt Ryan careers. Niggas can have Phillip Rivers careers. Like, those are careers of niggas that we respect, but they never won anything. And Drake May can have a Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan career, bro. Never touch a Super Bowl. Maybe get an MVP at some point in time, but never win anything. That's still a good career. Everybody won't be Patrick Mahomes, y'all. Everybody won't get 3 or 4 Super Bowls, y'all. I hope y'all know that.
Salute the Bo Nix for
niggas watch Aaron Rodgers get one.
Getting y'all to the playoffs, all of that. But Swiper, you are out your fucking mind if you replace Bo Nix, 30-year-old ass, with Caleb Williams.
What?
That offense goes to a whole nother level.
What are you talking about? What offense? What offense? No run game? Cortland Sutton?
Even with Jalen Waddle, with Cortland Sutton in the game they got right now.
What?
I can literally argue if you put Bo Nix on the Bears, they're a better team. I can argue that.
I can argue that too. I was early. Way better team with Bo Nix. It's a way better team.
Who's no? So wait, no. Just for context.
Run game of the Bears?
Just for context.
The receiving core of the Bears?
Just for context. No, wait, stop. Everybody stop. I want you to realize they have a better offensive system with the Bears than they do with the Broncos. He was throwing to Sutton, who had one catch in the regulation time of that game versus the Bills, to Marvin Mims and freaking little Jordan Humphrey, who they picked up off the practice squad from the Giants. They had an offensive line and no run game. They didn't have a starting running back from week 10 on. And the defense gave up 30 points in that game. He put up 33 points with Lil Jordan Humphrey and Marvin Mims catching majority of the passes. So whatever you want to say,
give Bo Cal and DeAndre Swift,
and had a second-round draft pick at receiver, and had Colston Loveland, and had DeAndre Swift. Like, what are we talking about? It's not even the same.
Give me Cal and Swift at my running game and Colston Loveland. And fucking Roman Duzier.
And Jaleel McLaughlin. What are you saying?
The Bears' offensive situation was great.
Amazing. Why y'all move? If you don't like Bo, it's cool. If you don't like Bo, that's
just say that, bro.
And I'm with it. I'm cool. And I'm cool. He needs to prove himself. But out of the gate, Bo was way better versus the Buffalo Bills than Caleb Williams was versus any of those teams that they played. And then on top of that, I've already said this, Bo went down head-to-head with every quarterback you just named. Dak, Mahomes, Josh, whoever, and Jordan Love. Outplayed all of them. So what I'm saying is, he's not.
Bo has a Super Bowl appearance right now. If you don't get hurt,
absolutely,
he literally has a Super Bowl appearance, bro. I don't know if he beats the Seattle Seahawks, but he has a Super Bowl appearance. If you don't get hurt,
early. What does that mean?
You cannot tell me.
It means something because he wouldn't have a Super Bowl appearance if he a bum.
If that's the case, then why are we downing Brock Purdy?
I think Brock's good.
We're not downing Brock Purdy.
I'm saying, we're not. We're saying they're the same tier.
It means Bo Nix is better than Caleb Williams. That's what I mean.
The skill set Williams have is leagues ahead.
He played better than him in the first 2 years.
But the skill set has to actually fucking come together, man.
He played better this last year too. If Bo Nix walked into a playoff game and he had a playoff run where hold on. Okay, cool. Okay,
Williams outside the structure.
I know, but I think the issue is the thing that people do with Bo is they act like his situation. Okay, D-Mac, hold on. The thing that people do with Bo, they act like Bo has this great offensive structure, which he doesn't. And on top of that, the reason why a part of the reason the offensive line looks so good, and Sean Payton will tell you this too, is for everybody that watches the game. Bo doesn't get sacked because of his feet and what he does with the ball.
He literally tore Marcus ACL. That was him.
And I think, and again, D-Mac, the offensive line might be best in football. I'm not even negating that. They have that.
Right.
What I'm saying is, though, he didn't have a run game. He doesn't have a high-end receiver. He doesn't have a high-end receiving crew. And the tight end room was mid. So what I'm saying is, what I try to understand about Bo is, and again, I'm with it. You need to prove yourself. But Bo played, and again, this is the thing about Bo. Bo versus bad team, bad. Bo versus good teams, good to really good. He needs to get more consistency. But he literally looked every single one of these QBs in the face last year and outplayed them. Every single one.
I'll say this, right?
Go ahead, Trey.
About the Caleb bullshit. If you want to say right now, like, there's no gap because of the inconsistencies of Caleb.
And Bo.
I laugh so crazy because Bama Rex was hilarious. But like I just want you to know because you're saying that right now because Caleb Williams is not good to me right now. That nigga has an inch of a jump. He's way better than Bo Nix. I just want you.
But I'm be real with you.
We know that.
I'm be real with you. I hope he does. As a nigga who's from here, but let me say something. I hope he does. As a nigga who is from where I'm from, I'm always root for a nigga who's from where I'm from. But my nigga, he could also be a fucking Jay Cutler and never be great.
That's not happening.
Not gonna happen though.
I can't see that.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying there's a possibility in the world.
Jay Cutler didn't.
When you can have everything and never actually articulate.
J-Rod, what happened to Jalen Waddle? What happened to Jalen Waddle is like actually like that though? And that changed.
He is actually like that.
He is. But what I'm saying, what is the combination?
This is again.
We're both giving you 36 and 7.
I'm gonna tell you this, Swipe, but
I'm sure both
with 9 rushing teams.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the nigga
he gave them 30. He gave them 34 10 2 years ago.
Listen to me. Bo Nix is going
45 TDs total.
Listen, Bo Nix is going to suffer some of the same things that Jalen Hurts is going to go through. And what I mean by that is,
well, how? He has not in the same situation.
Yeah, bro, come on. You see what I mean? But no, Swipe, but you see what I mean, though? Why the fuck would you beat Jalen Hurts, bro?
I finished my point.
Go ahead.
The point I'm making is, do you see how Trent just said that he takes a little bit of a jump? There's a gap between him and Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. What that tells you is they don't believe in Bo Nix's talent. And so the same way they don't believe in Jalen Hurts' talent. So even if, no matter what, Bo Nix will never be the consensus guy, because even if the numbers look good, they think there's higher potential quarterbacks are. And I'm not going to lie to you, Swiper. I got to kind of be on Trent's side with this game. Caleb Williams made the 4 best throws of the year last year. Oh, the 4 best passes of the season came from Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
again. Hey, Swiper, this literally is the fucking Jalen Hurts Super Bowl argument. Every time a nigga argues Jalen Hurts, they bring up the Super Bowl performance. So every time you argue Caleb Williams, they bring up his 4 plays.
Hold on. I don't want to.
Y'all wonder why Earl be frustrated.
Earl, let me finish with talking about the Iceman. Y'all gotta remember
who was better than who was better than playoffs last year?
You can't say that. Fine.
No, I'm not asking you, Trent, because you have your ideas about certain players. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna say Bo Nix.
Because Trent, I think the way you position things, though, what I'm saying is you know how critical I was of Bo last year, because you saw where the turn was, which were after that Chiefs game and after that Packers game.
Look at nigga Twitter.
You know what, Bo? You got it. Both. You can go do that versus Mahomes versus Jordan Love. Then cool. But I guess what I'm saying is,
what grade would you give Bo Nix's playoff performance?
Oh, he was A. Yeah, it was A easy. Yeah, easy for sure. We're not gonna do this.
Let J-Rod, you had to land your plane.
No, we're not gonna do this.
All I was gonna say,
yeah, it was easy.
All I was gonna say is this,
and I think some of this too for you to hold on, J-Rod, just answer the question. For you to be able to do 310 plus yards and 3 TDs with 1 negative play, and then on top of that, down your starting running back, down your starting center, down your starting guard, down your top 2 and 3 receiver to Lil Jordan Humphrey and Marvin Mims, then yeah, of course. Like, I don't understand how that wouldn't be an A. Anybody else in those situations that's gutting like that, that makes no sense.
Is that the game where Cortland Sutton called one pass in the fourth quarter?
Cortland had one pass. Yeah, stop it, bro.
I think you convinced me. But all I was going to say, my only point about the Caleb Williams thing was this. Because his talent is so high, I will admit, his talent is through the roof. Y'all remember, Bama, remember how you rolled your eyes when I told y'all coming out of college, I thought he's the second coming to Mahomes.
That's
so
still
somebody who's been overly on the Caleb Williams hype train, I will say this, and this is my thing. I think Bo Nix is better than him right now, right at this moment, as of today. But if Caleb Williams learns how to make a fucking layup, learns how to make a layup, bro. I'm being honest, bro.
That's it.
Caleb Williams' only flaw in this game to me right now is that sometimes he can't make a fucking layup.
That's a huge flaw.
It's a huge flaw.
It's a big flaw.
Imagine a basketball player who's great but don't make open layups.
It's a big flaw.
It's not a huge flaw because
I don't think he has trouble seeing the field. I think he is in a very complex offensive system. I think learning an offensive system is never easy. And so I truly believe that he is.
You see one side of the field.
He is definitely
turnovers in 2 playoff games, bro.
But I think his turnovers. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the layups are like not in the grand scheme. It is. If you can't throw a fucking drag route, you can't fucking throw a slant. That's an issue. I'm not saying it's not.
What grade did you vote?
But I will say this: because his deep ball accuracy, I think is anything over 20 yards. I think that actually he's a lead in those. I think his arm talent is lead in that area. But I will admit, until he learns how to consistently throw the short, low intermediate routes, the layups,
crazy.
There's still going to be a lot to be desired. I don't care.
Jordan Humphrey got
Caleb Williams will literally make plays between the first down, second down, third down to put you in 3rd and 18. Then let's go 4th and 18. Then he'll make a fucking 20-yard pass on 4th and 18, and you niggas will go.
The reason why
Caleb Williams, like nigga, you put us in 4th and 18 because of the stupid shit on the first 4 downs.
This is a misunderstanding of what. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what the offense system is. It is about explosives, and that's it. So when you say, "Hey," they're talking about, "Hey, you're 2nd and 9." I'll say we're in 3rd and 9. Then you have the explosive time. So
we're 4th and 15.
It's not a down-to-down success rate driven offense. It's a we are going to be explosive, which is exactly why Ben Johnson picked Caleb Williams to be his quarterback because that's the quarterback he wanted to get that done with. Right. I think that when you talk about him and Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix had like a B playoff game. I thought he was good.
How was that a B?
Yeah, I don't think it was great. I didn't see great.
But you're an EPA merchant. How is that?
He was good.
A B is crazy.
A B with that lineup?
A B is crazy.
If
I get a report card full of B's, my father's taking me to ice cream.
I also didn't think
that's crazy.
Teacher are you?
Wait,
that is crazy.
Again, y'all asked me questions I'm not answering. I also didn't think the Bills' defense was some juggernaut. So, like, it's not.
It was better than the Rams' defense, and he was trash. Caleb was
I didn't tell you how I thought about Caleb Williams' performance. You didn't even allow me to finish. This is the reason. This is your problem. You're big-headed.
You started with B, and he didn't see this. His brain was fried.
Got to be an A to him. D-Max got to be an A to him.
Got to be an A+++.
With Lil Jordan Humphrey, yeah, that's a big deal.
He's saying his name like that.
Do you know who that is?
Like, the nigga ain't been in the league for 10 years, though.
His name is Lil Jordan Humphrey, though.
I know.
That's his name.
Lil Jordan Humphrey been in the league.
It's like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like, we have to say it together. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like, you have to say it together.
He keep talking about Lil Jordan like Lil Jordan is like 5'9". The nigga's 6'5".
What's that got to do with anything? He got cut from the Giants. He got cut from the Giants
with no receivers. They died for receivers over there.
Saints, thank you, Jay.
We got no
he's still on rosters. Like what? Like
wait, what is that going to? What? They're a punt returner was their leading receiver, and then Little Jordan was second.
Oh my
he got cut from the Giants. What are you talking about?
Alone, man. Just call him Jordan.
Bro,
Little Jordan.
To answer your question, the reason why I'm not so
Lil
L-U-L.
L-I-L.
When you look at last year for both of these guys over the course, because I think Caleb Williams is like a C- D+ as far as the entirety.
The nigga name literally is Little Jordan Humphrey. Like, it's Little Jordan Humphrey. That's his name in his fucking Football Reference. Little Jordan Humphrey. Like, his name.
Lil Jordan.
I couldn't find a nigga because I had to type in Little first.
Bo Nix is a smooth quarterback.
You already got his name first.
I think Bo Nix is a fine quarterback. I think that Caleb Williams last year had
Broncos won 14 games and he was regular, bro.
I think last year you look at what
he won 14 games last year. He was regular.
The thing about it is for both of these guys, their superpower last year, Bo Nix's superpower, which Sarver pointed out, his ability to avoid sacks and really negative plays in general. Caleb Williams was better at that when you look at the ability to negate those plays, and then also specifically the pressure to sack ratio. Caleb Williams was better at both of those aspects. So it's like the superpower for both of these guys, as they were middle of the pack quarterbacks, was the negative play regression or avoidance. And Caleb Williams was better at that aspect. And you add on top of it the fact that I think Caleb Williams has more throws on the menu. Both of these guys are very mobile as far as that is.
Does the running game not help that?
They won 14 games.
As far as which part? As far as which part, really?
They won what?
As far as the negative
won
play,
14 games.
No, because when I'm talking about the negative play stuff, I'm talking
regular.
about your ability to avoid those things. When you put the ball in harm's way.
No, I think he was regular versus the Raiders and the Jets and all
that.
I mean, the Bears won 12 games and they were regular. So what we talking about?
They were a lot worse on defense.
I mean, Caleb Williams regular.
We're having
but I think this is my only point. I'm
talking about Bo Nix and why you talking about because Swipe made a comment about some the way how I evaluate this and that. It's kind of weird because I'm not sold on Bo Nix. Yeah, I'm not. I'm literally seeing B smooth, okay for majority of the season. And niggas won 14 games.
What does that mean though? Like every time he needed
exactly
to
what I mean. He was regular as hell when they won.
But the issue though, he's the inverse of Drake though, and I've said this already. Like when he played versus bad teams, that was his worst. Absolutely, never complain to you. But every time he saw good teams, he would play very well, and I think that's where he needs to get his consistency up. When you're showing up to these games consistently, that's going to be his long-term thing. But you most hope when you have a young quarterback, they play their best ball versus the best teams in the best situations. And that's when he does play his best
But the
ball.
problem with that, though, Swiper, is the fact that the running game was so bad that he led the league in fucking pass attempts. So if he's able to come down a little bit and not have to fucking throw the ball so much or be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be more efficient. It can look better, my nigga. When I have to throw 612 fucking passes because my offense is bad and I don't have the receiver core to be throwing 612 passes, it ain't going to look the way you want it to look.
This is the thing. I think that both of these guys are going to have better years than they had last year. I just think that Caleb Williams is going to be in line for a leap. I think Bo Nix is going to take a step up.
Be in line for cool.
So here's the problem. Statistically, because football is about stats.
Early. Allow me to finish the last half of this. But my point is this: I don't think that there's like, hey, this is something crazy. It's just, hey, I think they were both middle of the pack quarterbacks. I think Caleb was slightly better last year, and I think Caleb Williams has significantly more talent, and that's going to be the thing that I'm projecting moving forward.
But the problem is
that's the big point that you mentioned right there is that the Caleb Williams, the jump obviously because of the talent, but also the recognition that the talent that is also progressing with him when it comes down to those weapons near him with Luther, with Rome, with Colson Loveland.
But also we got to be real about this. They do have a very good offensive line over there for the Broncos. They do have a Hall of Fame offensive, play caller as far as Sean
He's not calling the plays anymore.
And they went out and got Jalen Waddle. So it's not like they ain't helping, but the
problem is that we do this, but statistically, it's what matters.
No, hold on, real quick. I'm just saying you can't position it as, hey man, they just leaving Bo Nix out there to die.
No, they did last year though. They did
through the injuries, yes.
But I'm saying that's a part of it though. Like I think,
but that's fine. But I'm saying this way. But I'm taking that into account when I evaluate these guys as quarterbacks last year. But Riddell's talking about what they're doing moving forward as far as talking about the leap. But yes,
if everybody's fully,
but you can't say D-Mac. You can't say elite because statistically is what we care about. So Bo Nix goes out there and has a 36 and fucking 7 season with 9 TDs and goes 45 TDs total, and they make it to a Super Bowl. They're not elite. See, y'all worried about skill set. So if you think he'll never have a better skill set than Caleb Williams, cool. But I can have better seasons than Caleb Williams, and that's my leap.
Early, you said 4,500 and how many touchdowns?
I said if he goes 36 and 7 with 9 rushing TDs, so that's 45 TDs total. My nigga, that's a leap.
If he
gets the Super Bowl berth.
If
he goes 45-7 and 4,500 yards, yes, that would be a leap. I don't.
That's
100%. When he does that,
that ain't crazy. I promise y'all, it's crazy. Y'all think it is.
When he does that, Ben will be 6 foot tall.
I just don't.
His rookie year, he was 29 and 10, y'all. His rookie year was 29 and 10, my nigga.
I don't know.
With less talent around him. If he can't go, even if he go 36 and 10, if he can't give you 7 to 8 more touchdowns.
Okay, if we think if in the hypothetical world, right? Let's play the hypothetical world. If we're saying all these stats about Bo Nix, what in the blue moon could Caleb Williams do?
What is it? What can he do though? Like what I'm saying, but
I'm saying
acknowledge he can do that.
What's the best of him?
7 picks. What can Caleb Williams do with this route? What can he do year 3?
No, but I think we're all acknowledging that he can be elite. I'm asking like the other side of that though. But again, this can't be answered now. I think with Bo, it just has to be proven. Because if you have Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton in a running game all season, I think we can all say if they're all healthy through 17, he's going to throw for 34, 35, 36. But he just hasn't had that around him. He threw for 29 and then ran for 6 his rookie year. Last year, the dilapidated situation, I think he had 29 total and 10. I'm saying if he can have a full, healthy roster of, whatever, with David Webb calling the plays, I think the idea is that he can get to a certain level. But
the expectation is 40 touchdowns for him.
It could. It could be. I don't want to. That's a lot. That's like Justin Herbert.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Early just said. That's a lot.
It could be.
I think Caleb Williams can have a 40 touchdown. Like that's a potential. I don't think he's gonna go for 40, but like.
My thing is that if he goes for 40,
closer to doing that than Bo Nix.
But if Caleb go for 40,
that's a problem. That plays a part. Like
if Caleb go for 40. Again, we talk about it's expected to get so great. What I'm saying is that we know if you're saying just skill set, I know a lot of skill set FC niggas understand that. Yes, I think Bo Nix would never have the skill set of Caleb Williams at his best. But Bo Nix, and this is my thing at quarterback, because niggas don't have to be skill set wise, it's fine.
Yeah,
Like the
both
Tom
make
Brady of the
them
world.
very
And
well.
Bo Nix can be a
Yeah.
quarterback who's still athletic as fuck, who can be a nigga who can give you 35 TDs, 36, 37 TDs in this. Like he can have seasons where like he's not only making the playoffs and getting a little kind of deep runs because the teams are around him, but he's putting up great numbers, and we'll still shit on Bo Nix.
He'll be and the thing.
But we cool with 18-5. That hurts.
And the thing
Fuck
is,
out of here, man.
But the thing is, he will be a good quarterback. He will be in the Jared Goff range. If Caleb Williams puts up a 35 TD season and like 8 picks, and he's showing his talent, Caleb Williams will be way closer.
Caleb had 30.
Caleb Williams will be way closer to being a top 5 quarterback in the game than being closer to Bo Nix.
I want y'all to know statistically, because when you talk about niggas,
like that's in the realm of possibility.
But a much better offensive situation.
Statistically, when we talk about certain guys, again, and I hate to bring Jalen Hurts up again, Jalen Hurts has never thrown for 29 TDs in his fucking career. And even if you want to go to that MVP season where he got hurt, okay, nigga, he had 22 touchdowns, my nigga. Okay, maybe he could have got 8, 9 more touchdowns if he played one more game, maybe. But that would have been kind of crazy, though.
No, what is that?
So you're saying Bo already had 29 passing touchdowns as a rookie. Caleb has most, or not Caleb. Jalen Hurts had 22 or whatever. So like, I don't know. I think I don't really care because at the end of the day, if I think the Broncos are going to be a team, they need to obviously be healthy as an offensive infrastructure. If they do next year, they might be the best team in the NFL. We'll see. On the other side, Caleb, I also out of college, phenomenal. I was like, I want Caleb Williams. I think he can be terrific. Caleb, but y'all know how I feel about players getting gassed too early. I don't like it in the NBA. I don't like it in the NFL because you put players in situations they shouldn't be in. Caleb is not a top 10 quarterback yet at all.
He's not
in any way, shape, or form. But to D-Mac's point, for sure can be because he is uber talented. He got a lot of moxie as well. His feet work in the pocket's crazy, and his arm strength is insane. He can throw on a rope 60 yards. That's great. Love to see it. And he has a great head coach. He got a great set of receivers, got a great tight end, got a really good offensive line now, and got a pretty good running game as well. And he's in Chicago. And apparently the NFC North next year is going to be trash. Purportedly is what I'm hearing. But we'll see. We'll find out. But y'all know what time it is. This is the Press Box. We did an almost 3-hour show today. 350 people watching.
Y'all play the Bears this season?
Make sure y'all tap up.
Hey, I just want to say,
yep.
Last Sunday before football, man. Football's back next Sunday.
Let's go, baby. Yeah.
Hey, swipers, stop playing with out there earning jobs. Okay, they trying.
Well, my Panthers play, so I will be watching. Thank you very much.
We will be watching the week 1 of the NFL season. College football about to be here though, so we good.
My Panthers play, so I will be watching.
Y'all know what time it is. See y'all next Sunday. We out.